Hello, my people. Let's talk about it. So everyone start joining in. Hello, everyone. As you're joining in, how we doing? Hello, 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 hello. What's going on? Okay, so let's talk about it. So I'm gonna have a guest joining me today. What we talking about? We're talking about it. We're talking about our weekend. The weekend, actually, not our weekend, because Night1 was there. But we're talking about the weekend, the events that happened this weekend. Hello, 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 hello. Yeah, we're gonna be talking about some stuff. I have some very controversial opinions. Well, no, I don't know if they're controversial, but we're gonna talk about it. I'm just waiting for Kai to join. He should be joining soon. No, not you. We're not talking about you. Yeah, we're just gonna wait for Kai. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know who it is, we're going to be talking about the events that happened at Skate City London on Saturday. Yeah, we're going to be having a chat. I don't know if anyone else has had this. Wait, can you all hear me, by the way? I've got headphones in. Can everyone hear me? Everyone hear me? Hear me well? Yeah, so for those of you who don't know what it is, this past weekend at Skate City London, there was an injury, two injuries that needed two separate ambulance call-outs. I was there for the first. I was there in the beginning. Yeah, I left right after the first injury. And this isn't the first time. So in two sessions, in two of their events, there's been two major injuries. And yeah, we're going to talk about like maybe why. We'll talk about what's been going on, why is people getting injured so often. And yeah, I don't think I would never say to anyone don't go, but I think the best thing to do is like do your best to vote with your money, you know. Yeah, so we're just waiting for Kai. Yeah. So Kai wasn't there. Was anyone there? Is anyone in here now that was there on Saturday? Please make yourself known. Yeah. Yeah, I was saying, I don't know if anyone else's Instagram has been like this, but pretty much most of the day. I mean, I haven't really been on Instagram much today. But yeah, pretty much all day, like this has been the top. Hello. If you're at Road Nation right now, don't watch. Go away. We don't want to see you. Okay, cool. So most people was there. Scanner, bro.
General,
Scanner, man. How you doing?
I'm all right, you know. I'm all right. I'm okay. I'm not injured.
Guy, I have a sick sense of humor. Please don't make me laugh, man. I'm trying to look at my serious face. This is my serious face. Yeah. Okay. So, Kai, how you doing today, man? How's your day been?
My day's been good. My day's been productive. Couple meetings, talking to a few people about different things.
Cool,
So I just wanted to clarify. No, I wasn't there on the
man.
weekend.
It was
Um, I haven't been to Harrow for quite a while. Um, since before the pandemic. So yeah, quite a while. However, the reason why I feel like I need to talk on this as well and be involved in the conversation is because since last month's event and the accidents that happened then, I've been getting personal messages. I've been involved in group conversations on social media. Fixate, the event that I coordinate, has been getting messages, and also Flippers have been getting messages um, concerns, constructive feedback. Um, like, I always say it takes a village to raise a child. So there's a huge responsibility on the community of skaters to help skating grow in the right direction. And it's been really nice to have so many people feedback constructive ways to improve things, make things better, make things safer for everyone, because then we can all continue to do what we love. So yeah, that's why I feel I need to have a voice in this conversation.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think I always say that it's good to hear from people who are in the positions where like like yourself, like you run nights on Tuesday, we co-run nights on Tuesday. So you have a lot of background in that side of it, not just coming
Mhm.
from me who's a skater and just like what I mean, just kind of going off
Mhm.
what I think, right? So you have a more technical understanding of how things go. That being said, I really want to talk about this because today, my Instagram, I don't know if it's been the same for you, my Instagram has just been full of like lots of these conversations, and
Mhm.
lots of these
Mhm.
like quite wild and emotional takes, I would say. Obviously,
Mhm.
you're not getting to know when everyone has their own experience. But I think there needs to be a conversation had about like what it is, what's actually happening. Um, I have noticed that no one's really spoken about like the skaters themselves, like what we can be doing to probably be better. Talking about the community. There's been a lot of like people talking about like what actually happened at Harrow, which is
Yeah.
valid. Like they had literally the same scenario the following or the previous event, and obviously did nothing to change that. Um, in my opinion, the hall seemed like even more packed. So it seemed like they let more people in my opinion. But obviously, I wasn't there with the clicker counting anybody. Um, yeah. So I mean, I don't know if you want to just like get what you have to say off your chest, or
For context, I think you need to give like background on exactly what happened.
okay.
Like,
So for anyone who doesn't know, or for anyone who wasn't there, there's been two events recently at Skate City London, which is in Harrow, where there's been multiple injuries. There was two broken legs last week or the last month. Two broken legs who had to have individual ambulance call outs. And this week there was another broken leg that had to have an ambulance call out, and there was a concussion. I think there's a concussion or someone fell and injured their head.
Matthew.
Yeah,
Mm.
that had to have another ambulance call out. So over the two events, that's four separate ambulance call outs. And yeah, four like pretty substantial injuries. A lot of people are talking about how packed the halls are, um, which is obviously definitely a valid thing. I don't think there's much emphasis on like skating etiquette or rink etiquette. I don't know if I think we was having a conversation recently, and you were saying that there's such a vast mix of styles in the rink, or such a like people have learned in the parks or learned somewhere else, and or just started and come to the rink and have no idea how the rinks work. Um,
Yeah.
I don't think there's much emphasis from anybody to really talk about like how the rinks work and how they can work safely. I think it's just a lot of like winging it. But yeah, that's just some of the things I want to talk about. I don't know if there's anything you want to
Mm.
say. Obviously, there's a bit of context there, so if there's anything you want to say, bro.
Yeah. So again, I wasn't there. I didn't see the injuries. I don't know everything that led up to them. I just heard like a lot of feedback from people. I just wanted to say Matthew, who was the person who got the concussion and was taken away in the ambulance, he's doing okay. I've spoken to him myself. He's okay. He's walking around. He's on crutches at the minute. He's still got a bump on his head, but he's okay. Thank goodness. I'm not sure who it was that broke the leg. Um, I know Kimmy in the group chat was one of the persons who broke their leg last month, and she was saying that her injuries have actually escalated. Um, Luckily, she went to a hospital and got it dealt with, but they found blood clotting in her leg, so she's dealing with that. So it's not just a broken bone, you know. Like, and these are concerns that they need to be taken seriously. So yeah, what I was saying about the difference of skaters. So I'm a rink skater. My first experience of roller skating was, well, as an adult, was in Bagley's, King's Cross, before they moved to Roller Nation in Vauxhall, and everyone will now know them as Roller Nation in Tottenham. So I've always had a love for them, their venues, their skate experience, and that's why I am here today, really and truly. But there's a lot of skaters, especially from lockdown. We all know there's a lot of skaters that joined us from outside, skating in car parks, tennis courts, etc. And shout to them, man, because we need them. We need them to keep the rinks alive.
100%.
However, when you learn to skate outside, outside doesn't have the rules or etiquette that rink skaters are accustomed to. So there's a reason why when you go to the venues, everyone skates the same direction around the room. Every now and then we'll turn the music down. DJ will announce to change direction safely. Slow down is the first thing they say. Change direction. And it's to avoid accidents. Marshals are in place to enforce these rules. So Vauxhall, there's a guy called Otis who comes Wembley now. I know he was at Harrow last month, not this weekend, because he actually injured himself at Fixate. But he was a marshal in Vauxhall for 10 years. And we used to call him Speed Camera, because the minute that you go over a certain speed, he'll blow you up with a whistle, blow you up. So he kept that control to avoid accidents.
Mm-hmm.
He was on point. He was on job. He wasn't there just to skate and have a good time. He was working, you know? I could name a number of them. Like, in my opinion, the venues, the rink managers, the organizers, they have a duty of care for their customers to make, first and foremost, provide a safe environment. That's the bottom line. The buck stops with them. Right? And that goes for me as well. Anyone who comes into Fixate, I care about your safety, your well-being and your safety. I have to make sure that place is up to scratch, you know? Whenever there is an accident, I feel guilty. I think, what could I have done to make that better?
Yeah.
Again, I'm not gonna condemn or disrespect the organizers of Harrow this. I've spoken to a couple of the marshals. Well, believe it or not, I've spoken to a couple of their marshals, and they have said that as a team, they've spoken about it, and they are working on things, trying to make things better. I don't know. I'm not going to see it. I don't go there.
Is there a ratio for like marshals to number of skaters that should be like a general practice?
That is a gray area. So again, full transparency, at Fixate, it's in our licensing, it's in our insurance policy that we have to have a minimum of 8 marshals on the floor at all times before we can even open the door to one customer. That's just in our liability insurance. Sorry, I can't see the comments. My Instagram's not great, so sorry if I'm missing anything. But yeah, that's just one thing off the bat. We have to have 8 marshals on the floor at all times.
Mm-hmm.
And our venue only holds between 150 to 200 absolute maximum. But that's all we're covered for. If we have 201 people, we're not covered. And that includes the staff. So is there a ratio? That's our ratio. Each policy will be different. You have to do a risk assessment on your own venue, on your own event, on how you run it. If you go to Roller Nation, I'm sure there's a different. If you go to the rinks up north, I'm sure theirs will be different. If you go to Bump in Bristol, Lindsay and the team there have been doing a great job for years. Lindsay's a great person. She's helped me establish a bunch of things at the rink. Um, so yeah, I don't have a direct answer to your question.
Yeah, makes sense.
Is there an actual legit ratio?
Mhm.
But yeah, Harrow can fit a lot more people than Fixate can.
Isn't there
And
capacity 1,500? I think.
well, that depends on the type of event, because
Yeah.
technically, Crystal Club in Wembley, where we run Fixate, that can hold 800 to 1,000, depending on the event. But for skating, we all know as skaters that we need space.
Yeah.
So
100%.
yeah, so I'm
Yeah.
sure for a big function in Byron Hall, they can have anything over 1,000 people easily. But for skating, you have to do your own risk assessment.
100%. I think something that was pretty apparent is that there was no like setup, like any kind of like plan for what happens if someone does seriously injure themselves. And the reason why I left after the first injury, and the reason why I left and why the reason I'm not going to go back is because, well, that's not the reason I'm not going to go back, but one of the reasons is because they don't really have much of a plan. It kind of halts the night. And obviously, like it's obviously a serious thing and needs to be taken care of. But it just kind of seemed like it was a bit of a fumble. The second someone hurt themselves, it was like, you know, stop the night, it's over. Everyone needs to kind of stop doing what they're doing. Um, yeah, it just felt like it just felt like an unexpected, like, oh, no one ever hurts themselves, so what's the point of like having a plan for it, kind of thing.
Hmm. Yeah, again, it comes down to planning and organizing. That's what I mean. The buck stops with the organizers.
Yeah,
The organizers of the event have a duty of care, and through the marshals and the DJs, you have to control the night. Um, what I don't like, what I really don't like, is the lack of concern and aftercare. So I mentioned Otis, who hurt himself at Fixate last week. So I messaged him the next day. How are you doing? How's your leg? And he was at work. He was in pain a little bit, but he was taking painkillers, and he's okay.
hmm
But I care about him as an individual.
yeah,
Like, if someone's hurt themselves at my venue, my event, and then one of their friends messages me to say, "What are you going to do to stop this from happening again,
hmm
or to lower the risk of it happening again?" And then you get aired, but then you're promoting your next event.
yeah,
You read the message, 2 blue ticks. You read the message,
hmm
and you ignore that. What does that tell you about how much they care about you as an individual
I agree.
or our community?
Mhm. For those of you who don't
I could
know,
say so much.
sorry, bro. Just for those of you who don't know, Kai's talking about the experiences of people who have been like affected by, or people who've been injured from the skaters, from the event, and have told myself and Kai individually that they have not been followed up with. There's been like no messages out on their Instagram or anything like that to kind of talk about what happened or to address it. It's just a lot of like posting the fun parts of the night and promotion for the next night. And yeah, no follow up with the people who were injured. Sorry, I just want to say that.
Again, for a little bit of balance,
hmm
I have seen them reply to a comment that was made on Facebook,
hmm
where they directly replied to a message saying that they're reevaluating things and they're going to try and improve things. But I don't know how many messages have been aired,
Yeah,
because I've heard there's a lot. And yeah, I think as organizers, event organizers, we all need to do better.
hmm I
Um,
agree.
like, I've been doing it for 10 years now, and every week is different. I'm constantly learning, constantly. No two accidents are the same.
Yeah,
And you've just got to try and improve things and make it as safe as possible.
yeah, I agree.
So going back to one thing though, when we were talking about the difference of skaters, the outdoor skaters. So I've used this example before. Um, Years and years ago, I would say the middle school of roller skaters, the ones who are familiar with the good old days at Stratford, Um, when a lot of the old Stratford crew started driving and they reached 18 and they started coming to Wembley, Silver Spoons at the time, it took an adjustment period. So in Stratford, for those who don't know, it's a shopping centre. We used to be able to skate in there. You could just turn up, skate till all hours of the morning. So it's quite similar to the car parks nowadays, but it was just one spot. So it meant a lot to a lot of people. People would come from all over there, all over London to skate at that place. There's a couple of our American skate fam in here in 2012. They came, they skated in Stratford. They'll know about it. But again, that place didn't have etiquette. So you could literally just drop your bags, do what you want.
Mhm.
So when those skaters, those few skaters, a handful, maybe 8 or 9 of them, when they all turned 18 and started coming to the rinks and they were skating with no etiquette, it took an adjustment period to adjust that handful of skaters to introduce them to the rink etiquette until they clicked and they got it and they fell in line. But you have to do that. You have to enforce that through the marshals. Again, when I'm talking about Otis, speed camera, that's him. That's his nickname forever because he was on our case. And that's what's needed. So we've just had lockdown period. We've had this massive influx of new skaters. So of course, when the rinks and the venues open, they're going to come in without the knowledge. So it takes a village. It takes the community. It takes us all to educate and explain the way things work.
Right.
But with that said, some skaters are disrespectful as fuck.
I agree.
And they don't listen. So it's tough. It's going to take an adjustment period. It's going to take a while.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. I think, like I said, like obviously on the kind of the business side and um, the kind of like event side, Harrow is 100% to blame for how packed the events were, how kind of the marshals are not equipped to deal with that many people, just kind of all that stuff, right? But I think you hit the nail on the head, and I don't think this is something that, well, this isn't something that I've seen online today, but just like you said, like there's a lot of skaters out there who aren't using the knowledge that they have because we've all been in rinks, especially my class of skaters. We've all been in rinks, we all know the system pretty well. We make it work everywhere else. But Harrow, I think because it's so big, it just turns into a free for all. And there's a lot of like people going for gaps that aren't there, and knocking people down. I got knocked down, I grazed my elbow, like it happened to me. And I was trying to save someone. Yeah, go on.
Where's their speed camera?
Well, they don't have one. But I think it's like you said, right? Like a lot of the marshals, and again, I'm not throwing shade to none of the marshals, but a lot of the marshals, they're just there to skate, you know? They're not there to work, right? Like a lot of them are just kind of doing their thing, and if they happen to pass by a drop or happen to pass by something, then they'll stop and do what they're supposed to do. But there isn't like a real emphasis on like being there and being an actual marshal, and the knowledge of knowing how important your marshal role is.
Mm.
Yeah, there's a lot of things like that I noticed, and also like especially like with, I do my best, and again, I'm not bigging myself up. I'm not like the best at doing this, but I do my best to direct the newest skaters to the inside lane just to make sure that they're out of the way. It's us lot that should be in the middle lane, and the speed skaters that should be on the outside lane. That's how I've always known how it is. But yeah, I don't think there's a lot of emphasis on that, especially from the marshals, the DJs. I feel like they should be calling that out as often as possible. And from the event planners and the organizers, I think there should be a kind of idea of a lane system. What do you think?
Yeah, the lane system works in a big venue like that. It's hard to do that in Fixate. It's really hard because it's such a narrow space.
But the thing is, bro, like you say that, but it does happen. We just default that way.
Mm, possibly, but that's also because the majority of the people that go to Fixate are regular skaters. They're regulars.
I
Like
agree.
we hardly even promote on the page now because we don't need to. Like
Yeah,
you already know, like we're not out to make money. Like our overheads are paid through the skaters, so that's it. But Harrow is different. Harrow is different. They run the free sessions, they run the two kid sessions, and then the adult sessions. And again, for those that don't know, I used to marshal at Harrow when they first started. I used to hate wearing the high vis. I just hate high vis. Um, but you need something to stand out and say, hey, I'm in control of this space. It honestly, it's really not that hard. Like it's not hard at all. The simple answer is who's responsible for this? The
hmm
organizers. What are you going to do about it?
yeah, I agree.
And you don't do anything. Do you really care? Because you can't be shouting skate family, skate love, and then when a regular who's been coming for 6 years bumps his head and you don't message him to see how he is.
I agree. I 100% agree. Yeah, I think there's a lot of fundamental issues, especially like on. I think there's like I said, like the majority of it is on the event. But I think there's a lot of things that as a community, which is a word that we use quite often, or the scene, which is a word that we use quite often.
Mhm.
I don't really see a lot of unity there. I don't really see a lot of these like us and like even me, like I could be doing way better. But we should be having these conversations. We should be um, trying to lead the newer skaters into a better way of doing it because I think if we don't, we're just going to see more of this stuff happening. And it hurts me that I have to say I'm not going back to fixate, not fixate. That I'm not going back to Skate City. I know I'd never say that. But it hurts me that I have to say that I'm not going back to Skate City London because it's not like I have the luxury
Mm.
of choice. There's a handful
Um,
of places that are accessible that I can get to. Go on, bro. Sorry.
no, yeah, true. And this is another thing. Everyone knows Fixate's there, innit? Fixate's there on a Tuesday, it's there every week. If you don't go this week, you can go next week, whatever. But there's something because Harrow is once a month, it's exclusive,
Yeah,
you know? Like you can see the videos from Saturday night and FOMO kicks in. Oh, I missed out, man. Now I gotta wait 4 weeks till the next one. But
yeah.
no, I'm gonna catch the next one. You know, it builds that hype. Um, so it's gonna be busy again. What's gonna be done? Now, it's different with Roller Nation. Roller Nation's there 4 or 5 days a week.
Mhm.
You know, same thing. Sorry again. I'm really struggling to see the comments.
Yeah.
But I
There's a
can
few
see
people.
Emery. I
Yeah,
can see Emery in the chat, and
yeah.
he asked to join. And Emery is one of the old school Stratford skaters. Um, I'd really value his opinion actually.
Cool. I just wanted to get this little bit done, then I can start to bring people in. So
Mhm.
let me dash it. Hope you're ready, bro. Let's see if it looks up. Feeling for time. I like your windowsill.
While we're waiting for him, I've just seen another comment about water.
hmm
I have a good friend of mine, very, very good friend, who was in remission after recovering from cancer treatment. Anyone who knows anything about that knows you need to keep your fluids up. Water. I remember him asking for tap water once and him being told no. You have to buy a bottle. Now it's a legal responsibility to provide tap water in a venue that sells food or alcohol. That's a legal requirement. Um, he asked me at the time, and this was a few years ago, he asked me when I was working there. I went and spoke to the guy behind the bar and I said, look, he needs to have water. and he gave it in, but begrudgingly, he didn't want to do it. That's something that really needs to change.
Yeah, I
Like,
agree.
it gets hot. It gets hot in all the venues, but even Roller Nation with their extortionate bar has a fountain, a water fountain for free water. It's a requirement. It's not a request. That needs to change.
I agree. I'm trying to get. Yeah, drinking and skating just came up. I think we should talk
Is
about
he
that.
joining?
It's I don't know why it's not letting me do it.
Okay. I saw someone mention flippers, so I can tell you that flippers is going to have a Marshall program that before you even get a shirt and whistle, you have to prove that you know what you're doing, you're there to work, and safety is the number one concern, not having a good time.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm not going to say too much on that right now, but just know flippers will be there.
Bro, I have no idea
Yeah,
why it's not
also
working.
Christiane. Shout out Christiane in the chat. Christiane's my business partner at Fixate. She said it can happen. It's a learning piece. And I agree. I agree. I did say that. We're all learning. Accidents do happen, but it's about managing the risk
Mm-hmm.
and putting procedures in place to deal with things as and when they happen.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing I heard was abysmal on the weekend, but I don't know. I wasn't there.
Yeah, and I think also like making sure that there's steps in place so that it doesn't happen again next time. And I think, bro, like two like four separate ambulance
Oh,
call out.
Josh.
That's not a
Yeah.
yeah. That's not a coincidence. You know what I mean? Like this is just
Mm,
that's not
mm,
on. That's not
mm,
on, man. People shouldn't come skating and then have their entire lives like completely changed. That shouldn't
mm.
happen. It shouldn't happen.
That's for real.
And and
For
and
real.
and and not so much as even like just a message to ask if you're okay. That shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen. Like,
Um,
in the skating community, just like you were saying, like we preach love and like skate love and all this other stuff, and it just
mm.
very simple.
Amir, can you add Josh?
Again,
That smoke.
yeah, Emery's not working, bro. Let me see if I can get Josh in.
Oh
Got him, man.
man,
What's happening, brother?
love you guys, and this is a an amazing conversation. I may have some solutions because for some things that work for us here in the U.S., but salute and shout out to both of you guys for having this conversation, man. Kai, I love you, SkateTings. I just followed you, my brother. I'm also a fan, man. I watch you.
Appreciate that, brother.
A couple of things as far as I first initially have a question. Upon entering rinks, do any of the skaters sign waivers?
No.
We have waivers here and membership cards along with rules along the wall stating what the rules of the rinks are. And upon entering, they consent. And then especially people that are renting skates, as they rent, they're told to fill out an emergency card with their name, their address, what level they may be. So when accidents do happen, there's always ways where we can get their information. We cover ourselves as far as the rink establishment is concerned. So I know it's a real difficult task when you have a liquor license in your rinks and people may, get overzealous trying to get into a zone and a mood in order to whatever. But here in the US, we do something called parking lot pimping, where I understand your establishment does make your money from its bar as well. But the rinks that don't necessarily have a bar, y'all got to do whatever it is you need to do outside to get right before you come in. There's absolutely no food or drink allowed on the floor at any point in time whatsoever. And I did like the idea of what you call them marshals.
Skate stewards.
America, we call them skate guards, floor guards, whatever the case is. And most of the time we put them in referee shirts and also whistles. You know what I'm saying? So when people do fall, you know, even if the referee doesn't necessarily can't get over to him quickly, a whistle kind of gets people's attention. Or even if you guys don't have marshals, some of your regular guys, guys that you trust, people that are on your team, you can give them whistles, whatever the case is, people that you know are keeping eyes on the floor, your not gatekeepers, but your skate rink guardians, whatever the case is. You see it? Also, when it comes to, of course, I know you know, every event does have to have, you know, their first aid kits and things that are on tap, whatever the case is. That's also very important. But when it definitely comes down to, I know you came up with a point where it was a large influx of new skaters and them coming in, having to know the rules of the community and how the flow of the rinks work. But you guys yourselves, the regulars, have to make sure that you guys have a very strong foundation within each other, to establish that this is the type of night that it is, and what is tolerated, what ain't tolerated, and also press upon the entire community that everybody needs to speak the same language. So even if the floor guards don't see, it's also everybody else's responsibility. Hey, don't stand there. Hey, keep going. Hey, if you get up, don't sit there. Yeah, you may be embarrassed, whatever the case is. But here in Chicago, it really is upon the DJs control the flow of the entire night, all night. You're only one man, one woman, whatever the case is, and you can do what you can. Everybody has to do their part, but it's up to the DJ to not only control the tempo of the floor and to also dictate what happens. So most of the time when people fall and they haven't gotten right back up, the DJ will lower the music and heads up, keep your head up, whatever the case is. So you having an open dialect and communication with the DJ will also gain the respect of the skaters, saying, hey, we're not doing that. Sometimes the DJ will cut the music off and be like, yo, you can't stand on that wall. They'll say it while the music is playing with a couple warnings. Then afterwards, you're going to have to cut that music off and be like, bro, you can't stand on the wall. And then once they move, you know, nobody wants the spotlight put on them. So once the music is cut, and be like, yo, there's something wrong. Somebody fell, somebody standing, no food or drinks. We also don't allow purses or bags on the floor, because I know a lot of women,
There's a lot of that.
A lot of women will need to carry their bags or different things of that nature. Well, you know, I'm sure you guys have lockers or skate bags or whatever the case is. All of that stuff can't be on the floor. It's a gray area with the cell phones. It's a gray area because it was a point in time here where there weren't even phones allowed on the floor if you wanted to record whatever. But now I could kind of see, and even telling small nuances where, even telling people, don't put your phone in your back pocket. You know what I'm saying? If you put your phone in your pocket, put it in your front pocket, because most people, when they fall, they hit their butts anyway. So all of those different things. Or if they have to, if the ladies need to absolutely wear their purse, they need to wear it underneath their shirt so it's nothing flapping around or anything of that nature. As far as when it comes to rink promotion, when it comes to any type of rink promotion or set promotion, whatever the case is, when you guys, I don't know if you guys use social media flyers or anything of that nature, you put it on the flyer, my guy, and then it's literally you create the atmosphere that you want before people even get there. You know, I know people want to have a good time. The skating aspect is going to take care of itself, but even if you can't necessarily rely on all of the marshals, I'm sorry, if you can't necessarily rely on the marshals, your number one go-to guy is always your DJ, always. So you having a meeting with your rink and your rink staff, or even if you go to a rink where you say, oh, this isn't happening, if enough of you guys are going to meet with the general manager of the rink or the rink owner, you know, and having these conversations with them. So the thing is, Josh, somebody said something. The thing is, Josh, we know, where the rules are being kept up. I understand, and it takes some time to establish that etiquette, you guys. It takes some time, but it takes a unified front with your regulars and your OGs. I did hear you say something like, well, you know what, I'm no shade to the ring, but I'm just not going to go there if they're going to continue this up. I feel you, but I disagree. Your presence means more than anything. Your presence means more than anything. Your OGs being there and your rink established skaters or your regulars being there means more than anything, because the new skaters are coming in because they want to be in that vibe, in that environment. And the only way they're going to mold to a specific etiquette is if that etiquette is being pounded and presented all the time with your presence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you can't always, you know, rely on the marshals. Of course, they got to do their job, but, you know, I know you do it all the time. Like, bro, you know, sometimes you got to be a marshal and then check your marshals. Be like, bro, what's up, man? Buddy following you over here getting down. I get it, but you can always jump back into the vibes. You know what I'm saying? So regular OGs, your presence is imperative. Everybody needs to speak the same language. Your DJ controls the entire floor, and even with the newbies, if you want to make sure that they fall in line, you kind of have to make it a requirement if you guys are moving in unity. I know you guys have your style, you guys do the run and different things of that nature, and people are trying to jump in, but it's imperative that you guys are so strong with your culture that they have no choice but to fall in line, because they will always feel outcasted. Nobody wants to come skating and feel outcasted. So in order for them to get in, fit in, is that they have to fall in line. You don't give them the option to come in here and do whatever you want or let things go unchecked. Because even with our children that we have that come in at our rinks at certain times and they want to go in here and they want to dance and different things of that nature, sometimes we've gotten to the point where some rinks we don't even have floor guards, because we communicate within our OGs in the community. Everybody's saying the same thing. You know what I'm saying? When somebody drops, we shield. Yeah, there's definitely a shielding, and it has to be like if somebody falls here, there's a skater comes and blocks the traffic, then you have other skaters to come help and assist. So you basically can pick your role. But it's definitely a beautiful thing that you're kind of like having a skate of the union, but even with it just start being just you and you being the guy. And then, you know, all of a sudden people will start, oh, somebody fell, whatever the case is, help them up, get them up quick. You know what I'm saying? Make sure a lot of people, when they fall, they're embarrassed. So they want to draw it out. You know what I'm saying? So you got a bunch of different things that are going on. As far as, you know, the water situation, absolutely. I know it may cost a little bit extra, but, you know, don't be afraid to have some extra water bottles yourself at the door or whatever the case is. I don't know what your policy is on what people can bring in from the outside, but, you know, do you guys have security at the door?
Yeah.
You have security at the door. So allowing a clear capped water bottle could, you know, possibly be okay, but nothing that's in a container. You know what I'm saying? But if somebody wants to bring their own water bottle in, or if they can, you know, that may be in, and or said we can't bring empty empty bottles, that's fine. But you know how you could go get water bottles that are already capped? That may be a solution as well. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
But that would be a suggestion to put to this organization, but they're currently not listening to feedback.
Yeah.
They're ignoring messages.
It's one of them in-person deals, man. It's one of them in-person deals. I understand the messaging and it could go in one end and out the other, but your presence and you showing up and literally going to that GM and pulling them to the side like, bro, you see what's happening. I understand you want to get your money. Let me tell you, if you want this consistency and this money and you want whatever, and you want your business to continue and you want people to continue to come in, remember, for some of these people, it's not a lifestyle like it is for the rest of us. So it's going to come and go for them. You know what I'm saying? It's going to come and go for them. And we're the ones that's going to stand in the end. And mind you, dude, like when it gets warm outside, we got other options.
Yeah.
We got. I'm seeing y'all getting down in parking lots and y'all skating on lakes and on water and in sand and all over the place. You guys are skating up and down the street against traffic in the bike lanes.
Yeah.
So by right now, it's always been a disconnect, even here in America, between skaters and rink owners and skaters and management. And it's only then where the skaters themselves that feel the same way, which a lot of people that are agreeing, it's time to, unify and move together where you could get a couple of you guys like, look, we got some issues and concerns. These are some things. Maybe can you holler at your DJ? If you don't want to holler at your DJ, I pay my admission to get in here. We all pay our admission to get here. Yo, holler at the DJ after the session. Pull him to the side. Like, bro, you think you could get on the mic and when you see a fall, help them up, or stop the music, slow the music down, cut the music down, and address it. Because if it goes unaddressed, it's just going to get wilder and wilder and wilder and wilder. So that's one of the main things we do here. And even though we all have our little nuances of etiquette and different things of that nature when it comes to skate parties and all that, we could get into that, whatever. But when it comes to overall etiquette of just safety, it starts with the DJ. After management, it starts with the DJ and it ends with the skaters that are there and present that want to see the change and want to see the difference. So everybody has to be everybody's floor guard, regardless if the marshals have on red shirts, pink skates. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
and I think that's the thing. That's the thing that we were talking about, Kai. Is like everyone has a responsibility to look after it. Like it's not just like the marshals and the owners. It's like it's us as well. Like we need to be vocal and talking about that stuff. And I have a question. How do the rinks work? Like, how do they flow? Like, do you have like a inside, middle, outside lane?
Well, every rink does have its own etiquette. As far as I understand that you guys were starting to implement lanes, but then it's kind of a catch-22 where even for us in Chicago, according to our style, it's weird. We have rules inside rules. Like as far as us, if we're skating in groups, if you are in formation 3 or better, you're allowed to have the wall. If you're in formation 2 or better, you have to keep up with the said traffic. Of course, it's always faster on the outside, slower in the middle as you progress, and having showing people the ways to merge. So that's where offering classes before your sessions come into play, as far as not just necessarily teaching skill, but just teaching, having different levels of showing people exactly how to enter and exit the floor. Remember, you guys go the opposite direction of us. You guys, what do you guys?
No, we swap.
Yeah,
We
the swap.
swap. Remember?
Well, your reverse backwards is our regular, and our regular is your reverse. So either way, even that viral video of that girl, getting a running start to get into a lane. You know what I'm saying? Just teaching, just overall, when even something small as you see somebody try to get on the floor and you're standing next to them, by bumping them, be like, yo, don't go right after the person passes. Look at the person behind them and judge the gap between the two before you start merging. Even when it comes to exiting, simple etiquettes of pointing, what we do when we want to exit, if we're in the middle lane, we don't tell them to cut straight across the floor. We want you to finish the lap or whatever the case is, or just tell people to put their hands up. And then it's really up to the education of the marshals when they see somebody struggling to get off, to go over there and make a way for them or to blow their whistle. But whistles definitely do help, hand signals and or whistles, because, a lot of people are so in the zone, they're looking down at their feet and all those other different things. But definitely, whistles and hand gestures within the community allows people to know when merging should be happening. But definitely lanes are fine. And also discouraging. I know people like to find gaps and try and pick gaps they think that they can make that aren't necessarily there all the time, which goes to where the lane assist does happen, because the people that stand in the middle, we even leave space on each end of each lane, so the actual middle is still open for your crazy leggers and for people to pass. Heard back in the day, Marshall did everything. Josh would suggest, yeah. So even when we stand, we don't even let people stand on the front line. Like, you have the middle of the rink, your middle rink circle, whatever the case is, that long oval. We don't even allow people on, and then you have your main side and then your back side. We don't allow too many people to stand on the main side in the middle right then and there. Everybody has to stand on the back row if they just want to stand and chill.
You're confusing me now, Josh.
Huh? I'm confusing you?
The main side and the
Okay, so
you're losing me.
there's, in rinks, they have the side where people can sit and see the floor. And then the other side is basically like the back wall, the long side, right?
Yeah. But
So if people want to just stand in the middle, we have them standing in the middle lane towards the back side of the wall. They're not standing on the same front side facing the audience, so to speak.
Right.
all right.
Okay. I'll draw it out, damn it. Oh, let's go get some artwork. Let's get some artwork real quick. So people.
Hey, Josh.
Yes.
You coming to London in July?
You know what? I am definitely thinking about it. I just had Carrie Ann here for about a week, and
I saw.
Yeah, man. You need to come and come over here. You too. So hold on, I'm gonna flip my camera.
I'm gonna see you in Detroit.
Absolutely. So here we go, real quick. Rink floor, boom, right? Ooh, art class coming in, right? So let's say this is our audience people. This is where they sit, stand, come in, whatever, and this is where they're watching the floor. Right? We're getting that. So this is the front wall, and the skaters are basically coming with. You guys go this way, right? You guys go that way, starting off, correct?
No, we swap.
Okay,
Well, we swap both ways.
Regardless. Yeah. So basically, this is back wall, right? So normally you guys have faster on the outside, fast, mid, and slow, right? Then you have this.
Can everyone see your drawing? Because you're too close. There you go.
So I'm trying to draw and hold my phone. So remember, this is kind of like the area in which people skate and dance right there in the middle, right?
Yeah.
Kind of, sort of. So we don't have anybody too much standing in this area. We don't have too many people standing in that area. We usually allow people to stand in this area, all along this. So the people that decide they want to come through, or they want to cut the floor and be fancy, they still have somewhat of a lane to get through there. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
So
I don't like that.
So at least people that want to go their particular speeds, whatever the case is, faster, slower, middle, even the people that go to the outside and they say, oh, I want to be fancy and I see a gap they want to cut through, at least that's there. Also educating people when they get to these edges, to make sure that that their visual is always towards the middle of the floor. So I know when people are skating, sometimes they got their head down, they're looking exactly what's in front of them, but educating them when they get to these edges on these sides to keep their head towards the middle of the floor. What this does, it allows them to see everybody that's behind them and in front of them. It allows people to have better judgment to see who may catch them from behind and who they may or may not pass.
Yeah,
you kind of see
I got you. But I don't like the idea of you letting people. I don't like the idea of you letting people skate through the middle, the jammers.
Oh yeah, no. I'm not saying let them through at all. I'm just saying the people that feel like they want to be stupid because you can't stop everybody. At least, having people. It's really about these people and their safety. It's not just standing right here when people can't control themselves. You know what I'm saying? So this is to prevent collisions. So I'm only speaking on safety purposes on that. Somebody said markings on the floor, but yeah, it's a general etiquette that you guys can all. It's just when people are standing and they're watching somebody work. So let's say these are people work in the middle, and shout out to Storm and your whole team. Oh, we the NC is in the building. NC is going crazy in the middle, so it allows people to have their spacing, whatever the case is, and it just prevents collisions, whatever that may be. As far as your rinks are built, I know Fix 8 doesn't necessarily only has really one entrance and one exit to like get on the floor, which is like this end, right? You guys basically
It's
just
mostly
come
on
in
one
this end.
side.
Yeah, you guys only have one entrance and one exit, and the rest you guys got like chairs and whatnot on the outside, so people got to use a chair to stop. As far as the other rink that I went to while I was there, there was several entrances that were, you know, were they blocked by the wall, or how many different entrances and exits do people have?
It kind of depends because I mean we don't really have many rinks, like
Okay,
traditional rinks.
well, that's fine. I'm just speaking to the concept and the idea of it is that
Yeah.
encourage people to not enter at the end of the flow. So if everybody's going from um, right to left or left to right, whatever the case is, encourage them not to jump in at the end of it. Encourage them to start merging in the middle, not so much coming off the curve, but start merging from the middle on. Because then at least the skaters that are coming around the corners have enough time to make adjustments. It's harder for people to make adjustments coming off the corner to somebody trying to step on and waddle on, whatever the case is. So if you can designate a specific entrance area and allow all of them to be exits, you know what I'm saying? So those different types of things are prevent collisions. It prevents the skaters to make their adjustments if they're going around or going too fast or different things of that nature. And I know you, when you were here, there's something that you heard while you were skating. Do you guys remember? Do you remember what you heard a lot? Besides the music,
Okay.
you heard skaters doing what? Ow, ooh, ow, you know, all different types of skater calls. Those different things are specifically here. It's gotten so in depth where we have different calls for what it is that we want to do. So there we have different calls for when we are passing, different calls for when we're on we're getting off, different calls that we all yell out when somebody is falling. Crazy. So and it's simple noises. We sound like we're in a horror film. So if I'm getting ready to pass somebody, it's a short. That's what it is. That's what it is. If I'm about to pass somebody and they're close enough to hear me because it's only a communication between me and the person that I'm about to pass it. Something like that. It's high pitched enough where it can be heard over the music. You kind of get what I'm saying? When somebody falls, if there's no whistle, is it you? It's like an alarm. It's an alarm. Arms up, spaced out. It's an alarm. You. So everybody kind of looks up, type thing.
It works. It works.
It does, yeah.
And then we call it out. Outside, inside, outside. We don't call inside too much, but outside. And we say it to the beat. So it's okay to, you know, verbally communicate with each other. So the flow continues. You said somebody laughing at don't y'all laugh at our calls, bro. But that ain't very British. But what do you go, hey, outside, here I come. Watch out. It's not gonna work, especially at the moment, but you know, letting out some type of yelp, so to speak.
Yeah.
Definitely continues the flow of the momentum of the floor. You know what I'm saying? If you go and look at any videos from any of the national skate parties, all you hearing is skate calls over the music. You left, right, outside, whistles. You know, so it's definitely a communication within you guys, and then soon it'll become the norm. Of course, it sounds like it's funny and it's stupid, but it definitely works. The only time people really have collisions is when the floor may be, you know, unkept. Waiting for the date. We think that y'all accent is amazing. So do you have any more questions, you guys? I mean, however I can help. So, hey, you know what? I think I'm going to have to pull up in July.
So we
you
have
can help us. You can help us implement that.
Help us figure it out.
I would absolutely love to do so and come out there and give some boot camps, and we could put together some etiquette videos to put out there for the public, and you know, have it ready and available for people. But definitely, as far as, you know, Fix 8 is concerned, already have your rules of the rink Ain't no food, ain't no drink. You know what I'm saying? You will be dismissed if you out here sloppy.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? You will be dismissed if you out here sloppy. If you sign this safety waiver and also sign this waiver that you skating at your own risk. And if I feel, and the people here that are regulars here feel, and my marshals feel that you are unable to skate because you're too drunk, then we're gonna pull you to this. We're gonna move as a unit, bro. You can't. Come on, sit down, have a drink, sober up, chill out. But you got to take these off because right now you're at a danger for yourself and whatever,
And others.
and others.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely.
So I just have a few questions here.
Absolutely.
So the first one is: do US rinks allow skaters with headphones?
Certain
Some.
sessions. Usually a lot of the adult sessions where our music is where we enjoy our music, we usually don't have to use headphones. We usually don't have to use headphones, and it's a respect thing to our DJs where we don't use our headphones on the floor. We have sometimes, and some of our rinks, we have things called practice floors, back floors, extra spaces, where if we were to put on our headphones, respectfully, we would put our headphones on and jam to whatever music that we wanted to jam to on the practice floor. You know what I'm saying? So out of respect, we don't. But some people do use headphones at like family sessions that are not completely packed, or practice sessions that are dead, like your Monday afternoon sessions or whatever session, like your family sessions, whatever the case is. Yeah, and so it's much easier to not necessarily use headphones in certain sessions. So again, that's up to your DJ and keeping the attention of your people. You know what I'm saying?
But again, you're talking from a place of privilege, Josh, because you've got how many rinks in Chicago?
Oh man, we just lost another one, so we got a couple active. Yeah, I get you. I get what you're saying. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we're using
and you have sessions like every day of the week.
Mm-hmm.
You go to a different night session. You can go to different. You can hear different DJs playing in different venues or whatnot.
You actually have an advantage, because the things that we deal with here is that we got a lot of people that want a certain vibe. Everywhere that they go, they're looking for a specific vibe. So the fact that you have one rink, you guys have the power and ability to start molding the culture to what the skaters want, and you don't have to worry about I know it's difficult for one person to please everybody, but also giving an understanding to your public, saying that, well, if this is what the DJ's playing, or if this is what's happening, expect this to happen. And you have a choice to make within yourself to either come or not come. We still want you to come, and we want you to embrace the atmosphere. But if you come here, just know this is what you're going to get. So for us here, if I go to an old school session, I can't request house. I can't look for that. I can't expect that. And you don't see me pouting on the side if I don't get it, if I already knew, what I'm getting there. So.
But yeah, that's one of the issues we currently have, because the event that we're talking about is literally once a month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see it. And as far as what it looks like on social media, it looks like it's lit. Looks like it's lit. And it's a beautiful thing, because you guys only have it once a month. If you guys skated every day, or you guys had more options to skate, like if Fixate was open 7 days a week, and then that thing would be at a month, then yeah, you would have a more consistent flow of money, but every session wouldn't be so packed, because you only have that option that once a month. That's the only reason why a lot of you guys are running into the issues, is because the options, so that's really what it is. I mean,
and the last one is
yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
We want to, sometimes in my city specifically, we want to feel the rink being packed in that energy, because we have so many options and we're so spread. None of the rinks have this crazy energy until IR, or until Halloween, or until an event. You kind of get what I'm saying? So if the only time you guys skate together is like once a month, then it feels like, oh my God, it's chaos, because everybody is so eager and so thirsty, because they waited 3 weeks to get whatever it is off. You know what I'm saying? So if they can't blow that steam off earlier, whatever the case is, it causes them to do abnormal or not normal things when they get to that moment of that 1 month of rink party. Go for it. You had a question.
Yeah, the last one is do all rinks need like first aiders or like people from like ambulance service?
Absolutely. First aiders. What is that?
First aiders or like like people
A
who
medic. A medic.
oh yeah, medic, sorry.
A medic? Do they need a medic on site? No. Of course you have your emergency, personnel that you call, like your 911. If you have like a serious injury, twist of the ankle or whatever the case is. But even for us, any type of fall or concussion, we don't pick them up or we don't touch them. Or if there's a possible concussion, if somebody fell and bumped their head, if there's somebody with medical knowledge can be able to go over there and check them out, we don't rush them off the floor as far as medical, but we do stop the music and we clear the floor. If there's like a break, somebody broke their ankle or their wrist, or they dislocated a knee. If it's something beyond that, we, in our general knowledge, can't necessarily help. Now, if somebody was in rentals and they tied them too tight and they twisted their ankle the wrong way, whatever the case is, we don't take off their skate, whatever the case is. We let them sit there. We kind of figure out who in there may know what the hell they got going or what they can diagnose. You can't necessarily trust everything or everybody. The moment that happens, whoever's manager over there goes to get their card, so they have their name and their information, whatever the case is. And then even after that, when you sign your waiver, some rinks even give them membership cards to say, hey, yo, I signed a waiver, so people don't feel like they got to sign a waiver every time they come in. They sign their waiver. They get a little membership card that has their name and their birth date with all their emergency things on. That way they can pay their admission, flash their card, so they know that the rink already has their stuff on file. So if something were to happen, they can just go straight to their alphabetical order card and pull up all of their emergency contact information and all these other different things. And then it's really on the skater to, take that seriously and fill whatever it is out. But if there's any type of concussion or some type of leg or ankle break, if it's somebody that just took a hard fall and they bumped their elbow, of course we cut the music. You know what I'm saying? See what's going on. See if the skaters can help them and help them up and off. But anything that happens, and also the skaters, they'll turn and they'll wave to the DJ, be like, the communication. I mean, that's exactly what we do here. And then we try and get everything resolved. Of course, there's always a need for a first aid kit, for bumps and bruises, scrapes, whatever it is. But as far as that, we don't really, and people come in with that knowledge because we already have the rules of the rink. We ain't gonna have no aggressive, super stupid aggressive skating today. I'm not saying you got to nitpick and tell people how to skate, but you guys can use your own judgment and say, oh, yeah, buddy tripping. He drunk as hell. He tripping. He jumping. He trying to jump over a chair in here. These ain't props, So,
no, but that's one thing I've always respected about Roller Nation and Vauxhall. They've always got the St. John's ambulance medic on site to deal with whatever accidents may happen. Because accidents will happen. There's no way you can stop them all from happening.
It's definitely,
but just having that person, that dedicated person there on show, it installs a sense of confidence for me personally as a customer, as a skater. I know that if something happens, this organization have got someone that's going to help me.
Yeah, it's really good to get to know your community. Your community does things. Like, you have everybody that's in your community has the ability to do something. So even when we got painters, we got judges, we got doctors, we got lawyers, we got everything. It's important for you to start getting to know your community and what it is that they do, so you could call upon them. Because here's the thing, sometimes we don't have like actual security guards, but since we know we have off-duty officers, sometimes we had the rink hire the off-duty officer to give him extra payment, and at least we don't have to go through whatever channels or that we need to actually have the police there. And it's the same thing with your medics. We have medics that skate. So when it does happen, we kind of implore and press upon them, hey, use your, can you use your knowledge? Can you help? You know what I'm saying? And it gives everybody a sense of community where they're used, besides just coming in here and just, spending your money to come in here and skate. Like, it's your house. This is your house. This is your therapy. So, you know, use what you got. And it's really important for us as rink owners and party promoters and OGs, legends, or just people that are just here to get to know our community, see who does what, see how people can help, and call upon your community. You know what I'm saying? Everything doesn't necessarily have to always rest on your shoulders. What makes me who I am is the community that's backing me. You kind of get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So
Yeah, no, I feel the same.
I may be the guy that they call to go to bat, or I may be the first one to jump in the front of the battle to go to war for my community, but that's only because I know that in most instances that if I do stand for them, that if I fall, somebody will be there to catch me. But I'm willing to go and fight for mine. So call on your community, count on them. They love you. Your people love you. You know what I'm saying? So show them that you love them by utilizing them as well, and holding them accountable for their spaces that they want to you know, that they say they love. So you love this space. When shit happens, help keep it up. If somebody's being stupid, check them. If somebody's leaving trash, you know, check them on it, or you be the one to throw it in there. Don't just wait for, you know, it's everybody's place. You know what I'm saying? You said some music is not skate music. Yeah, well, you know, that's up to your DJ. So, you know, if you guys are not feeling the vibe of your rinks, man, it's time to start looking at other DJs. Not even so much other DJs, not even so much other DJs, but there's other DJs that want a chance. Some people that do have a chance, and then you can start breaking them in by like, hey, I'm a warm them up. And then when it's time to, I mean, we do that at certain sessions. Like one session we have, the main DJ is Spank, but as people are starting to, you know, learn their thing, they have warm-up DJs to get started, to get the crowd going, whatever the case is. And then they in turn promote like, yo, I'm DJing the first hour. Come check it out. Get here early. And that promotes and brings more business before the main event. And then that makes your main DJ feels like, oh man, well, it's the main guy. I mean, he's about to, you know, that makes it gets a little ego stroke there as well. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, everybody has their specific taste and preference in their music. If there's other DJs that are qualified, bring them into Fixate, put them on the tables, be like, yo, give me 10 minutes or something. And let me see where you at, whatever you want. Let me get an all skate, and let me get a backwards, and let me get a couples or something, and see what you got. You know, also one thing that could help you guys is during your sessions, having specialty skates. Do you have specialty skates? Like,
what's that mean?
That means you have an all skate, a couples, a backwards only, a reverse backwards, a trio.
Oh, okay.
We don't have it.
We only really have the speed skate in it.
Well, that's fine, yeah. But you know, I see people there G sliding. I see people there slow walking and different things of that nature. By you having the ability to break up the monotony of just the session will allow it not to get chaotic overnight. Because now a ladies only, a men only, rental skaters only, whatever the case is. Breaking up the monotony allows people to have breaks, and it allows people something to look forward to, because now people will come, man, I can't wait till women only. I can't wait till couples skate. Because, you know, guys are going to come, man, I can't wait to grab that girl to backpack with her. You know what I'm saying? So some people, they'll go to that night strictly for that. So those different things will allow you guys to not only break up the monotony of just chaos and kindness all night, but and you guys can have a speed skate, whatever the case is. Speed skate only. You know what I'm saying? And give them two songs, 2 or 3 songs. Women only, give them 3 songs. Backwards only, give them 3 songs. Women only, and then women backwards. Men only, men backwards. By themselves. Because, you know, women only they're going to be trying to show off for the guys. And then when it's women backwards, they're going to try and be all sensual and seductive and whatnot for the guys. Give them a time. Then the guy's going to be thirsty. Man, we're going to be out here by ourselves. Then we can let the fucking testosterone fly. Because with us, with our aggressiveness, we're going to be wanting to show out for them and whatever the case is.
Josh.
Yo.
Can we not talk about Pat, please?
What, testosterone-ness?
Yeah, no, it's been a big conversation recently amongst our community about the sexualization of females.
Man. Look, it may be one thing, but that's on them. That's on these ladies and where their mindset is. I understand what's like, Y'all in here trying to do too much. Well, nigga, they're looking for attention. Clearly, they're looking for.
Not always. Not always. It's difficult. It's difficult. But today is not the day for that.
All right. Well,
We're not going to get
I'll
into that.
see it when I get there and be like, oh man, come on, validation. I see what you're trying to do, but it's really
just so everyone knows in here, Josh is married. He's a married man.
I am married. Yeah. I am a very happily married man. There's really nothing you guys can do. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm just saying, as far as the etiquette, let's go back to the rink etiquette. Breaking up the monotony during the sessions will allow for things to, for you allowed to maintain a control. That way you ain't just got 1,000 people on the floor all the time. It'll create the space. It'll create the ability for people to get whatever it is that they need to get off of their hearts and their chests, and use skating as therapy the best way. Because I know a lot of people that come skating, they just want to skate backwards, and some people that they just want to skate slow, and some people just only want to speed skate, some people only want to rock the middle, whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? So the things that you are going through is happening absolutely everywhere, and the beauty of it is that we're still going through it as well. But these are the things that have worked locally, and now we're implementing more and more into national skate parties and etiquettes that are happening there. I'm sorry if I stepped on any toes. I'm sorry. I don't know what's happening there. I'm across the pond.
Yeah. Well,
on that note, just so everyone knows, just so everyone in here knows, Tuesday, the 8th of March is International Women's Day. We are having a ladies only night. Ladies in the skate community have come together and they're taking over Fixate for the night. There's no guys allowed. So yeah, women controlling the space that they're in, women DJs, women security, women marshals, women organizers. So yeah, there's that. So let's leave that on a positive note.
Yeah, man, that's amazing. Well, congratulations for doing for everything that you're doing for the community, whether you get your flowers for it or don't. So me all the way over here, I'm sending you guys both your flowers, and continue to do it because your community needs you. People need this therapy, and let's continue to love the art. Let's continue to stay in love with the art of it all.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. If there's any way that I can help or assist or anything of that nature, feel free to reach out to me. Anybody that's on this live from where you guys are, if you may or may not know, damn, I must have stepped on some toes. I'm sorry. I didn't know. All right, that's all right. If you guys ever need anything from me, I love you all, and however I can help. And I'll see you soon, guys. Peace.
Take care, man.
Peace.
Say hi to the wife.
I sure will.
That's fun.
It was going so well.
That's fun, man. But yeah, I think I learned a lot anyway. Some interesting ideas, man, and maybe things that we can talk about and try and implement here. But I think again, just like what you said, there's a lot of there's an abundance of rinks out there, and we're just kind of just starting, and just like you always say to me, we can't compare ourselves to them. They've been doing this in a way different, in a much different way.
Yeah, I agreed with a lot of things that Josh said, but I disagree as well. It's just unfair that they've got so many rinks. I know they're closing, a lot of them are closing, and I know what it's like to lose a rink twice. But I mean, I'm going to talk about Atlanta. Atlanta's got 3 rinks that are open 7 days a week, half an hour's drive from each other. They've got different sessions, different DJs, different genres of music every day of the week. They're spoiled for choice. Whereas we have a Tuesday night in a small hall, and as much as I love Fixate, obviously for obvious reasons, I personally have never loved skating there because it's not an actual rink.
No.
It was not purpose built for skating.
No. Was
But as a team, we make the best out of what we have. And we've for 10 years now, I'm very proud to say that we've provided a home for skaters every week consistently, apart from when the venue shut us down for one reason or another.
yeah.
But then that's one. We've got Harrow, which is just once a month, which is not enough.
Yeah.
Like, it's a beautiful space. It's a beautiful space, but it's just not enough.
And Roller Nation.
Skaters, and then Roller Nation. But then Roller Nation, again, the de-evolution of Roller Nation. They started off in Bagley's with 3 rooms,
Yeah.
went to Vauxhall, went down to 2 rooms,
Yeah.
and now they're in Tottenham and they've only got the 1 room.
Which
and
is
it's
still
small,
quite
it's
a
got
small
pillars.
space, yeah. 100%.
But still, I'm grateful for it. I went on Thursday. I went the Thursday before.
Yeah,
Like, I need my time to skate and enjoy it. Yeah, man, I need to let loose as
heard
well,
you, bro.
bro.
I heard
I'm
you.
telling you.
Kai getting back on the skates a little bit. I see you, bro.
Come on. Because you already know, like, I stopped skating during COVID,
Yeah.
and I was injured before COVID. So it's been a while. But no, 2022 is my resolution. I'm going to skate more.
It's good.
Especially as we've got the new rink. Liberty is in here as well, you know.
Hey.
Liberty's in the chat. Hey. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But no, I'm excited for flippers. I'm and again, talking about the influx of new skaters, it's exciting. It's such a blessing that we've had all these new skaters join the community.
Yeah.
And we just need more spaces for us to skate, more options. If again, one place might not be your cup of tea. One DJ session might not be your cup of tea. You can go to somewhere else.
Yeah, but we don't have the choice,
and that's absolutely fine.
And that's
like one thing that we've done with the NC is we've reached out to different venue owners and organizations and different communities around the country, around Europe even, and we've tried to collaborate. Like, let's introduce. Hi, we're the NC. We'd like to bring people to your venue. You're welcome to come skate with us. We want to come skate with you.
Yeah.
Like, having Roll on London last year at Roller Nation was mind-blowing for me, because I never thought that they'd agree to work with someone. Like, even trying to work with Harrow for the last 4 years, and had the door shut in my face. Like, collaboration, not competition. I've said that to you before, Amir. Like, there's enough space for everyone without the crabs in the barrel mentality.
100%.
But we need more venues, we need more events, more people doing more for the community to make it work. I did want to speak to you, Amir, about speed skating as well while we're here, because that's another problem that's happening at the events.
Are you talking about speed skating mixed in with like the regular night, or are you talking about speed skating in its own like little parcel?
All of it. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
So, do you want to start, or should I start?
Yeah, you go, bro, and I'll jump off. Go off what you say.
I'm not a speed skater.
No.
Once upon a time, the Vauxhall days, I used to love the speed skate. 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, I was on it. But over the years, I decided I wanted to expand the skate styles that I do. Learn a bit of this, learn a bit of that. I didn't want to be pigeonholed into one style.
Yeah.
Marshalling the speed skate. Marshals need to control the space. The DJs need to conduct the space. But I'm trying to find the right words without insulting people. But so at Fixate, we've now introduced a normal speed skate, which is for the advanced speed skaters, and then we do a introductory beginners speed skate. So people who want to learn it and try, they can go on that. So anyone who the Marshall team at Fixate, I'll talk about Fixate. Anyone in the Marshall team who feels that this person's not up to scratch, they'll blow the whistle, ask them to come to the side and tell them, I think you should do the next one. Again, Fixate, the space isn't big enough to have lanes that work efficiently in a speed skate especially. Sorry, I'm trying to read the comments as well. But yeah, skaters also need to have the common knowledge and courtesy to know that their level isn't up to scratch. But then some people would say to me, "Oh, but how can I learn?" So that's why we've implemented that. But I know a lot of the speed skaters get angry that people get involved. My doorbell's ringing. So 1 second, and I'm just
Yeah,
gonna...
go on. Yeah, so I think well, obviously Kai was saying what he was saying, but I think there is a lot of like newer skaters who want to get in and learn, and there's so many issues that I feel like we're still coming to get to grips with. I think we're really trying to figure out how how we can all exist in the same space. And especially just, like we were just saying, like we only have one night, you know. If you're someone who skates on Tuesday, or if you're someone who comes to fixate is once a week on a Tuesday, right? And especially if you're if you're a speed skater, you only have this one Tuesday night to do your thing, right? So of course you're gonna get a bit frustrated when they're like, cutting it short to do beginners, right? Um, and I think these are some of the problems that we're trying to figure out how to navigate through them. We're trying to figure out how they will work. But just, and again, like you always said to me, like we can't compare ourselves to them over in the US, like because we're still pretty new, like we're still figuring out how this thing works. I mean, most of us skaters who start as street skaters, which isn't really a thing over in the US. And I think just trying to
Well, in
navigate.
different parts.
Yeah,
Sorry, that was my doorbell was ringing. That was why I had to leave.
yeah,
For me, it comes down to the space.
mm,
Like, again, the skaters that come to Fixate predominantly are skaters, so they have an understanding.
yeah,
But that space is very hard to control and manage because it's so narrow. But in Harrow, I don't understand. I don't see an excuse. The place is huge. How can you not avoid people? The place is huge. Even I can speed skate in Harrow.
yeah. I can, and I can't see anything when I turn this way. 'Cause
Right? You could easily implement 3 or 4 lanes
Mhm.
for the speed skate.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
see how there's so many problems.
but this is the thing, bro. Like, and I will say this. This is not anything that you said to me, or I don't think this is how you think. But I've always said that the Harrow is not owned by people who love skating or love a community. Harrow is owned by people who are interested in business. And they don't pay attention to the needs or the wants of the community. I think it's only recently that they've started implementing new DJs who bring new sounds there. I mean, Harrow. I always loved Harrow because it was the way to go to find old school music, right? Like Touchy used to play a lot. That was where I used to go, and it was a way for me to be around a lot of the older crowd who skate in like who skate in Hyde Park, and listen to the music that I love. I like old school music, right? So it was a place for me to go and do that. And it was predominantly a slower paced a night, right? Like everyone was, because the music was slower. And I think now that they're trying to introduce or capture a different crowd, it's kind of turned into a bit of a free for all. And especially with the influx of the newer skaters, I mean, there's so many rental skates out now. But especially with the influx, there isn't much love or respect for the newer skaters, and there isn't much
Mm,
of a system really in place. There's just like, again, like you pay your £15 on the door, you buy a couple drinks, and see you later until next month. There isn't much of that. There are no DJs who know what is happening. The DJs who are
mm,
seeing the skating don't know what they're seeing. They're there to play a night, and they might not even particularly have a set designed for skaters to get skaters in the mood or to enjoy. They're just playing music.
mm.
I don't think we
Just
have
on this
that
point,
infrastructure. Yeah, go on, bro.
I doubt very much he's on here. He's not really a social media head.
No,
But shout out each and every time, Touchy, Eugene Phillips, one half of Olympic Sound. Like honestly, like the backbone of Fixate, Silver Spoons, and Skate City London. First
100%.
one in the
Shout out to
building with all his sound equipment, last one out of the
Steve.
building,
Yeah,
like every time, for nothing, for nothing. Like he doesn't get he doesn't get any props that he deserves, but honestly, backbone of our community, honest to God.
100%. Touchy even
But
came out and DJ'd for one of the events I held in a tennis court. Shout out Touchy.
mm,
Shout out Touchy. But
mm,
killer.
but oh man, I have to bite my tongue so much. Skaters who skate at Harrow, many of them skate at other venues, including Fixate. So everyone who skates at Fixate is familiar with Touchy. So when he plays at Harrow, and more so back in the day when he's playing the old school sets, a lot of the regular skaters who he's familiar with would ask him to play something that they choose. Like they'll make requests, and Touchy's fine to accommodate that. But when an organizer who doesn't skate herself tells Touchy, shouts at Touchy, disrespectfully in front of other people, don't play that. If they want to hear that, they can go to Fixate.
Or that don't play the American music, which is another one.
Don't play that music here. If they want that, they can go to Fixate.
Yeah.
What does that tell you about how much respect they have for him and all what he brings? What does that tell you about what they think of the skaters who have actually requested it?
Yeah. And the community and what's actually going on, the movement of what we're trying to bring forward. There's a lot of, again, bro, like there's such a lack of respect. And especially like I said, like the beginning of this conversation was the fact that there were two broken legs at one event, the month, and then the following month there were two more very, very like severe injuries. Like there's no, and there was no change. And for me, I don't know if there's anyone in the chat who feels the same, but I felt like there was more people in there this month. The line was from the door to the car park when I got there at like 9:20. And then every time I went out to check to check the line and see who was in the line, it just seemed to get longer and longer and longer. And by the time I left, which was just after the first injury, the line was almost gone. So everyone in that line got in. Everyone in that line got in. And there was no, I checked their Instagram, there was no like message people to say that, they're getting to capacity. There was no information on their Instagram. There was nothing there. It was just coming. Like I said, pay your money.
On the capacity, sorry to cut you.
No, go on, sir.
On the capacity, bear in mind, Flippers in October, we had give or take 500 people in there. Harrow is much bigger than Flippers.
Yeah.
Floor space, much bigger. So everyone's saying there was 500 people this Saturday, and the videos that I've seen, it looked like a considerable amount more than 500.
I agree. I said the same thing. And again, like even like bro, this is what I'm saying, right? Like two injuries on one night. It's not a coincidence. There's a fundamental issue there. Then two more injuries the following night. It's not a coincidence. There's fundamental issues there. And yeah, I mean, I don't, like I said, I already said I'm not going, but I don't know. I don't know if I should make decisions like that. Maybe I should go. Maybe I need to still be
I'm
there.
not telling people not to go. I'm not telling people not to go.
Nobody is.
And again, I can't be a hypocrite and say we've got a lack of spaces. And earlier on, I told you how much I love the kid sessions at Harrow. I love being part of that. I'm not telling people to go to Harrow, but they can make their own decisions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm not either. I'm not telling anyone what to do. But I think maybe the best way to do it is to try and move forward in a better way, as opposed to boycotting one of the only spaces that we have. Or if it does take like people to not go and to hurt the pocket of those who do things like that, for them to change and implement things that people are asking for, then so be it. But yeah, there are very, very, very clear fundamental issues that are going on, and I don't know how to fix it. And the problem is that I'm one person with an audience of 66 people here listening who might might be able to make and implement the changes that we're talking about here, and might go on to like have these conversations in the rinks, and try and direct people to the correct lane or things like that, and just get better at their general rink etiquette, in general. Or we might just go back to the same thing. I might just have 2 more leg breaks next month. I don't know.
Do you want to tap someone else in to the conversation, Anzi?
Yeah. So we have. Let's see if we can get. So, yeah, I think I would have liked some more speed skaters in here actually.
Yeah, I really wanted to speak. I really want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Was Uriah in here? Uriah was in here earlier.
I don't know. You're right. If you're still here, jump in, bro. Yeah, I'd really like a speed skater in here. We need a conversation and collaboration sometimes to create safe spaces. Yeah, I agree. It's I don't know. Like from where you're sitting, Kai. I don't know how open it is to do things like that. Like have these conversations between event planners and event organizers.
Well, I've tried.
Henry,
Tried.
yo, what's going on, bro?
Yo,
It's nice to see you dust the dust off your skates the other day, bro.
jeez, you guys are still having the convo. You guys are live. What's up, man? What's going on?
Good, man. You?
Not too bad. Let me put my earpods in order.
Good to hear from you, Emery.
Yeah, man. This guy dipping in and out every now and again, you know, dipping the toes in.
What would you guys say? Sorry, I just got my earpods in now.
Yeah, so we were talking about the speed skating, especially when it comes to Harrow. Like it's such a big space. Yeah, what do you think about it? What do you think about the speed skating in Harrow?
I mean, do you know, I was listening to the whole danger and people breaking their legs and stuff. To be honest, like, it's a sad thing either way, like when people get into accidents and stuff. For me, I think it's normal. It's going to happen whatever you do in life. But at the same time, yeah, you can't be having that when it's from an event and a like business perspective. Under marshaled, yeah, when you look at it from that way, were they prepared? I don't think so. But I think the point about when people are speed skating and what it's like inside a ring and outside a ring, I feel as though that combined with the type of skaters that there are nowadays, they're way more reckless than it was before. And it's not to like, in the way that they skate. Like, I feel like the new generation is much more reckless in the way they skate. And it's not, whether it's purposefully or not, I can't say. But it's just from the way that I see it. I mean, it is what it is. But at the same time, yeah, if you're going to go harrow and stuff like that, falls are going to happen. I mean, it is what it is. But for like ambulances to be called every so other month is a bit crazy.
I need you to explain a little bit more when you say these skaters are reckless.
What do I need to explain?
Give me an example.
If you're speed
Because
skating,
Emery, I don't know when you joined the chat, but you was actually one of the people I was talking about earlier who used to come from Stratford with Tiny and Kai and Cruz and everyone. And then when you came to the rink, there was an adjustment period, like where we were blowing the whistle a lot at you guys because you guys were whizzing around, and you more than anyone was actually a lot better at controlling your chopping and your weaving in and out of people. But there was people who were chasing you that weren't as good as you.
yeah.
So there was accidents, and that's why we had to be on your case.
Yeah,
But there was an adjustment period.
It's like saying if someone's skating and they followed me, is it my responsibility in how they skate? But that's.
I would say to a point.
To an extent, yeah. I mean, at the same time, what are you saying? Like, you want to pinpoint out people in the way that they were skating at Harrow to stop them so they don't skate reckless, or?
Yeah.
I mean,
If someone's skating reckless, if someone's skating above their ability, and the three of us, we know the levels to the regular skaters, and we can look at someone skating and we can assess, yeah, they're in control of what they're doing. But so let me use Mikel as an example, because Mikel was one of our marshals at Fixate. Mikel is really good. Mikel learnt directly from Crafty, but he would start chopping and weaving in and out of people and not be clipping them. But there'll be people chasing him, playing cat and mouse, who weren't as good as him, weren't as controlled. So I'd always have to be onto Mikel, especially when he's a marshal. He's got to do better. He's got to lead by example.
I think when you're skating, it's inevitable.
You think what, sorry?
I think when you're skating, like in general, when you skate, it's inevitable that you're gonna fall over. When it comes to different venues, like for example, when it was rollout, it used to be 2 different spaces, and the people that would go into the more experienced room would know what they're getting themselves into. Whereas I feel as though, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm just saying what I see for like 2 minutes. I didn't even know this was a topic. I just popped on Insta every so often, and this is my 2 piece to it. But I mean, from Harrow, yeah, it's not good to have people in an ambulance every single month. I think you're gonna fall over. There needs to be measures that are put in place to be able to kind of slow it down. What are the measures? I don't. It's hard. It's hard to say, because if you've got a massive venue, you're going to be going much faster. I mean, one of the things in play is the floor is not as up to par. It was very slippery, I felt like. So
Yeah,
if
it was.
you're trying
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
so if you go
And I had
around
inside wheels on. I'm still a bit shaky.
if you go around the bends, you're not going to be able to like.
But surely that is like, that's a notice, right? If the floor's slippery, surely don't skate the same way, right? Because, and again, like this is something that Kai's spoken about a lot, is that this is our space, you know, like it's all of our space. And like the way that like I always thought that Stratford worked is it just worked, right? Like there was no real like way to understand how it just worked, right? We had all of us doing madness, is you doing madness, is that, and then we had like the jammers in the corners, and then we had pedestrians walking through, right? It just kind of worked. And you know, it was a terrible way to skate, but it worked, right? There was no like real injuries, there was no like real madness going on there. But I think again, like coming, you know, I went to Vauxhall car park the other day, right? And I'd never been there before, but it's a big like speed skater space now. And again, it kind of operates in the same way that Stratford worked. Like everyone's just kind of following it. Like there's no real routes. Everyone's just kind of doing their thing, and it's up to the people to move out the way. But again, because everyone's doing the same kind of style, it works. Now, when we get into the rinks, not everyone's doing the same thing. People are going at different paces. There's beginners there. There's, you know, people who don't know the rules. So I think there's a bit of conversation to be had around like how we're all skating in the same space, because we have to share the space, you know. And again, like we only get it once a month.
Yeah, I think. Go on.
CC just made a comment. The OGs need to teach us the classic etiquette rules. So
I was just about to kind of point on onto that little mark there. I think that is a very good point. I was just thinking in the back of my mind, if you've got a lot of people over the COVID period that is coming in and starting skating, you have to have people to look up to, and people to be able to set by example in the way that they skate. You would have a kind
and you're one of them.
I appreciate that,
100%.
man. But I'm way out of my I'm not even in the scene anymore, man. So I can't even talk too much.
But people like yourself, people like Crafty, you lot are needed, but you've given up.
Yeah.
I saw your story the other day, Emery. And you said roller skating's dead, ice skating is everything.
I mean,
you've given up.
Not to the I mean, giving up is what I just can't be bothered with it anymore. It's not giving up. And it's less about me and more about what's going on. I'm not too fast anyway. But like I'm saying, it's what I do in my life is what I do in my life. I'm not really too bothered about roller skating anymore, so to say. That's why I'm saying it's not really my 2 piece to be able to say anymore. I'm not in the scene like that to be able to comment on how and everything else. In my opinion, from what I saw, to be honest with you, yesterday, or was it yesterday? I don't know what it is. When I went to Harrow, I saw a couple of really good new moves from a couple of new people I wouldn't have expected for a very long time. There's a few people that showed me some stops and some yeah, specifically stops I wouldn't have seen in a while. But skating overall did, yeah, people aren't catching it as well as they used to before. That's definite. Whether they put in work, I can't solve it anymore. I'm not there to be able to so say. But if there's not a lot of people to be able to show ways and they're not following the right path, maybe they're not putting the work in that they need to be able to skate a certain way. But you tell me.
That's it.
Yeah, man. I hear what you're saying, bro. Yeah, I think the point is that we need people who are going to lead this, and who are going to allow us to all work in the same way. And I hear what you're saying, man. But I think, yeah, like we just need a bit more influence, and people who really want to put their time in, and show people the way. Because there's a lot of new speed skaters coming up, and not all of them are levels. And we need to find a way to make sure that everyone's levels before they start whizzing around and, like maybe not injuring people, but possibly like, contributing to the kind of craziness of the rinks, especially when there's new people around, man.
Mm.
Yeah.
Guys, there's a guy in here who'd like to
Yeah.
contribute. I am actually going to tap out because I need to eat.
Yeah, bro. I appreciate your time,
Yeah.
Kai. Nice speaking to you, bro.
Yeah, you too. Emery, take care, man.
See you later, Kai.
Cool.
Yeah, man, I'm not too sure, but it's an interesting place for yourself and others to be in. I mean, I'm just sitting on the sideline watching things go past every so often.
But that's the thing, bro. Like, I think we need a bit more than that. You know what I mean? Like, we need a bit more than that. We need someone to stand up and not wholeheartedly take. I don't think it's all about like taking all the blame or things like that. But someone to be responsible for the levels, man. You know what I mean?
I mean, I tried that when I was skating. It doesn't so to say work. What I mean by that is, when I see people skating and they can't control themselves or they're going in a certain way, I tell people that. But I feel as though it was more hush hush than rather people like saying it so much more to their face or just keeping them in check. And then when it's only one person voicing it more so, it's just like, right, this guy's just sticking on anyone. He's just a negative type of guy. It's not that. It's if I see you doing something that's gonna hurt someone or, to be honest, selfish. If you're gonna hurt me or you're skating in a way that's just pure reckless, you're not looking backwards, you don't know how you're chopping properly, I'll be like, listen, don't do it if you don't know how to do it well enough. If you fall and you hurt yourself, do as much as you want. But if you hurt other people, then you're a liability. It's just simple. So you need to skate.
Yeah, but I think, there's a fine line between that, bro. Like, there's a fine line between like saying, "Oh, yeah, if you're gonna be a liability," because what does that mean? No one's a liability until they hurt someone. You know what I mean? Everyone's sick until they hurt someone because it's all self-evaluating.
Right, exactly. So where is the fine line, and who gives a judge of the fine line?
Well, that's the question, bro. That's the
I
question.
mean, that's what I'm saying. It's hard to be able to say when there's not a lot of people that were like good enough to be able to say, listen, I've had enough experience to know what the fine line is and like slow down or just keep it a little bit more. But I don't know, it's a new generation. It's just different people.
Definitely is. And just like what I think Kai was getting at was that we need some of the older ones to come and set the tone, man. Definitely is.
Yeah.
Just like what I think Kai was getting at was that we need some of the older ones to come and set the tone. Going on, man.
Good evening.
How you doing?
I'm good, King. Can you see me? Yeah.
Yeah. Just about.
Yo.
Going on, man.
Good evening.
I'm getting some feedback.
Yeah, no, 1 minute. Let me turn it because I've got two phones on because the other one wasn't picking up properly. Yeah, is that better?
Yeah, much better, much better.
Cool.
What did you want to say?
Hi. Yeah, well, what it is I tried to point out on Friday what was going on, that there's going to be some incidences to a few of the marshals. Now, I've been a marshal for a number of years in some places, electric ballroom being one place and uppercut. And for me, we didn't have those issues. I've spoken to the organizer of Harrow today. We had a good long conversation about certain things. And what it is my thing. You see how I skate, yeah, King. I'm a bit of a madman. I'm not reckless though. I try not to injure people because that's my main concern, is that I don't hurt anybody. I want everybody to just have a good time, and I want to be able to enjoy myself at the same time. But I think if we're not going to have effective marshalling, especially in, sorry, my chargers. I just need to plug in a sec.
Yeah.
So if people are not able to keep up with the pace, or they seem like they're going to cause accidents, they shouldn't really be on there because it's dangerous, because people are traveling at speed. Also, with people allowed to go on the drinks, like the conversation you had with the guy from America, if people are having drinks and they're going on the floor, it's going to be a danger if there's a spillage and someone slides. And for me, imagine if somebody was to, God forbid, die on our rinks while we're all there enjoying ourselves, and it's one of our friends, relations, someone we know, people that don't even know it. It's going to affect so many people where it could be preventable. And for me, that is one of the scary parts of it, that we're not taking time to put the first things in play in any business, which is health and safety. And for me, everybody going home and having a good time, beginner, intermediate or advanced skater, is what I like to see. You see me, I don't really mix and blend. I just focus on my skating. I'm not there to talk and make friends with people. I want to just have a good skate, and I take it like the gym. I've been skating for so long, now it's second nature. So I'm aware. I might not look like I'm paying attention, but I see everything what's happening. Coming, going, left, right. When you're moving, you need to be aware of your surroundings. It's like when you're driving a car. You can't just be in your own world.
Yeah, I agree with you.
You
I
have to be aware of
100%.
the objects that are moving around you at what pace they're coming at. So I see people, they'll get off the rink. They don't look before they get off the rink. They just jump out, but you just block someone that was coming through. So where is your etiquette? And the guidelines that we need are the simple things. It's common decency. And I find the young generation are, like the man said, reckless, but it's not because they can't skate, some of them. They do have a, but they're not mindful of their actions.
Yeah, I agree with you. I
Yeah.
100% agree with that. But I think again, like, but there is no standard. There's no line.
Because it's
there
not,
is no
right. So okay, we can have, like, we should have guidelines. Every rink I've been to prior to Harrow, because it's not a set facility, there are guidelines for you to say no bags on the rink, no scarves, no this, no drinks on the rink. They're not enforcing it as marshals. They're not enforcing it as the DJ or the MC or whoever it is. When you're a child and you go to school, you go.
So then I think, so just like you're saying, right? Like, so then I think the onus is on us.
Yes.
As a community, I think the onus is on us to be. We're getting a lot of breakup. I think you meant to.
Yeah, the connection's a little bit, but I agree with what he's saying. I think like, it's never to really put blame on someone specifically. You know, things happen. Yeah. Things happen, but I think what you said was it's valid. I mean, when it comes to Harrow and that specific night and whatever's been happening after that, if you're coming to a venue, specifically a venue, you would expect the venue to have certain things in place to be able to make sure you're safe to an extent. You can't ensure everyone's going to be safe all the time, because it's skating. If someone hits someone, it happens. And at the same time, is there enough marshals? Will the marshals? It's like a collateral damage. If one thing happens and it just keeps knocking over, a domino effect.
Yeah,
you've got to make sure things.
I agree, but this is the thing, bro. Like, this is the thing. Like, there's definitely marshals, definitely this, definitely like DJs need to be doing all this stuff. Yeah, definitely. Like all this stuff needs to be happening on the side of the event planners and the owners. 100%. But I think just like a lot of people have said so far, right? Is that we are all part of a community. We like to talk about the scene. We like to wear our matching clothes. We like to show off on our Instagram, show that we're around all these people. We like to set pace. We like to do all this stuff. But the one thing we're not doing as a community is checking each other. We're not looking at each other and we're not saying, hey, you're weaving 8 levels, yeah? Stop doing that. Go back to, go dojo, go here, go there, and go practice, go level up, right? And that's the thing that there's no one checking that. Everyone's doing all kind of madness, looking everyone down, all this stuff, and then when someone gets hurt, then no one wants to hold the baton. No one wants to be like, yeah, okay, cool, I could have checked him, or I should have said this, or go to the next event and be like, yeah, I'm gonna check him and let him know what I want. There's no one saying that, and especially for both of you who are like who or Emery, you were someone who was setting pace like back in the day, back Stratford days, and Uriah, like you are like someone who is like head of Blitz, and your team is the Choppers. That's your team. Yeah, I mean, and again, I'm not trying to put you lot on blast. I'm not your lot's parents, but what I'm saying is that we all got to hold the space. We all got to be looking out for each other. And more than anything, bro, we need to be looking out for the beginners because they don't know anything. We can't come to the rinks and be clarting out the beginners and being all mad at them because how would they know? We're the ones who've been in the game forever. They don't know nothing.
Yeah, I'm not.
So
I'm not
someone's
gonna
got to be
lie.
setting pace.
Exactly how you're saying, it's got to be set in a community sense, regardless if you're in a venue or outside of it. And
100%.
that's what I'm saying. It's hard for anyone like yourselves involved in it because how many people are still skating to be able to say this is like me not included. I'm not. I'm definitely not. So I can't turn
Yeah.
around and every single time I'm there, I'm like, yo, what's that, every 6 months? Nah, you gotta have people there that are regular, that are experienced to be able to set pace, to be able to say, look, you can't skate like that. You need to slow down or But at the same time, people take it personally. If you tell someone, look, slow down, if there's only a couple of people saying slow down, they're like, raw, why is this person always getting on to everyone? You know, human nature.
Hold on. I'm gonna join back real quick here. 1 second.
Cool. Yeah.
So
Yeah, man.
it's a difficult one to be able to say. It's always a bit hard. I mean, just for whatever happened at Harrow the other night, or in general in the skating scene, it's not really a one point, and that's it. Yeah, it's all done. It's all new generation of skaters, old generations doing their own thing, and you got a little middle ground you're trying to get in between. So.
Yeah. Well, I think that's like what you're saying, bro, is very real because I think that's a lot of people's mindset where it's just like, okay, well, people was doing this and now people was doing this, but no one's really no one wants to take the responsibility and be like, okay, cool, I'm going to check him or I'm going to let him know that he ain't levels or I'm going to let her know that she ain't doing this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think there's anyone standing up. And again, like, that's not your responsibility to tell people what to do, but it is your responsibility if you feel like we could all be using the space in the same way. You know what I mean? Like what I try to do is when I see beginners in the wrong place, or when I see beginners that trying to just exit off the rink, like do 3 lanes jumping over, like when I tell them that, I let them know that, listen, you could get hurt doing that, and not only are you putting yourself at risk, but you're putting everyone else that's coming behind you, everyone else who's coming around that you're not checking your left and your right. And again, like we're quite unique because we don't have set exits or set entrances. People just jump off when it's time, right? And how many times have you like been chopping around the outside and then someone just goes from here just right over?
Yeah.
Too many times, right? But again, like how are they to know? How are they to know? They are not to know. So we need to be setting pace.
The
Go on, bro.
thing is, so obviously, okay, prime example. Look, the guy who bust his head the other day at Harrow, he's okay. For everyone who wants to know, he is suffering through probably a fracture, concussion, and a couple of injuries from that. He is part of my skate team, but you'll be fine. For anyone asking those questions about if he's okay or not. Now, in terms of skating nowadays, yeah, personally, in my opinion, it's gonna sound very bit mad, but I don't believe skating is skating anymore. And the reason why I
What
say
do you
this is
mean?
meaning that the culture is, it's like it's a place with no structure, no system. When you have marshals, look, I used to marshal, and those who know who I am, I used to marshal, and I was very on point with it. I didn't give a fuck who you was. Tell you straight. The issue is that marshalling nowadays, people treat it as if it is just, oh, I'm going there just for one night, get my quick little 20 or 50 pound, I dip. No one's really taking into consideration about, you know, people's safety and measures, and also even about people and their skating abilities. Now, in rollout the other day when I was with you and Mir, right? Did I not
Mhm.
go to the booth and say, yo, get them off the fucking rink? Get them off of the
Yeah.
rink, they can't
Yeah.
skate. That day, I
Yeah.
patterned everybody that day. Simply because
Oh,
enough is enough. Why am I lapping people in a speed skate? Why are there slow skaters in an advanced speed skate? Why are people tripping up? Why are people going through injuries in the last month in nearly every rink? So there's something that's been put in place that deals with skate logistics and skate etiquette, because there has to be a system. Now, whether that is by someone leading the community, or whether somebody as a rink or event manager, or whether it is us as a community in general, I believe personally that it comes down to ego and down to pride. And if you really want a community to be based around love and culture and where things can flourish naturally, just like the story of the Spartans, right? The reason why the Spartans, killed off 10,000 Persians at the time period was because they worked as a unit. They had the same morals, the same mindset. You see where I'm coming from? They held it down at the hot gates. In anything you see that comes with a unit, you need to move accordingly, because if you don't, if one thing's out of place, everything falls apart. Now, if you're having a skate rink, have a paramedic on site, have marshals that know what they're doing, all right? Have people who are very aware of people and their skate abilities. If someone is lagging in a certain speed skate off the rink, it might hurt you eagerly, but sometimes ego is not the way forward, in it. So, from how I'm seeing it is that we're all out here constantly every other week, and if I'm wrong, to me, I'm wrong. We complain about skating in general, of how it's moving, all right, how it's happening, what's going on in it, the issues with it. But if we really want change, you have to treat it like an actual sport, all right, meaning that there has to be logistics, there has to be a system in place. It'll be hard to do unless you start it over again, but the community will not start over again because it's already been happening. So you got to find a way to implement a system from now on, whether it's the community as skaters themselves, whether it's people who've been skating for years or not, or whether it's people who have a voice in the community. There has to be a gathering to where everyone individually is on point, not just one person or 5 or 10. Has to be the full 500 people that would have been in
yeah.
that ring last night. Because one
No,
thing
I
I'm pissed off
disagree, bro.
about.
I disagree. And I'll tell you why I disagree, because a lot of them are made up of beginner skaters that don't know. I think it's for
Oh, okay,
us.
yeah,
I think it's for us that are standing there, us that know better, to be letting them not know. And I saw someone say that people were talking about skate etiquette but get ignored. And I think a lot of them,
like who?
again, like well, there are people who talk about it and there are people who get ignored. This is
Oh,
true,
okay, okay,
right?
cool, yeah,
But
yeah,
I
yeah.
think a lot of people that are talking about it, again, and this is kind of how skating has gone, especially with the evolution of social media.
Yeah,
They don't have a profile, right? If you don't have a profile, no one's listening to you. So you could
yeah,
talk
I
about,
agree.
you could let people know, whatever it is. Shout out to Reed. Yeah, you can let people know whoever, like, whatever it is. If you don't have a profile, nobody wants to listen to you.
So,
So
so, so,
it's up to us to be setting pace. This is what I'm saying, right?
so,
It's up
so,
to
are you
us. Like,
asking basically like those who have a profile or status or voice, basically speak up and help out over? Because obviously beginner skaters.
100%,
Okay, I
I'll
agree. I,
give
I,
100%.
I agree. I see where you're
if
coming
I
from.
I'll give you one example, right? I think it was when I was in Greenwich and I was skating there. I was it was popping off. It was live, but it was a lot of recklessness. Way more than it was in Harrow from what I saw anyway. But it was a lot of
Hmm.
recklessness and a lot of people getting aggravated and stuff. And I was as well. So I was like, yo, look, you lot, not specifically a bunch of people, but I was just speaking to a couple and I was trying to say, look, you're skating too reckless, keep it in check, etc., etc. But then from the other hand, it just looks like I'm just getting onto the new skaters and seen out to be the bad guy. You see,
Yeah.
it's very hard to be able to say who should be able to say, look, you're
Because
not
the
doing it
ego.
right.
Yeah.
Nah,
Ego, but at the
but
same
bro,
time,
but listen, bro, but look, I hear what you're saying, but honestly, fuck who should and shouldn't be saying nothing, right? The point of the matter is that people have to say something because just like you said, right? Greenwich is just a space, right? Greenwich was packed out with thousands of people on one day, right? There's people from all over the shop. Nobody has there's no one who's right, there's no one who's wrong, right? The fact is that Greenwich was a free for all, and it acted like a free for all. Now imagine if Uriah, you was there setting the pace of the speed skaters, right? And again, you have some profile, you have a team, you got all these. If you were letting your team know with the levels, right? That how many of you is in Blitz?
There's 23 of us.
23 of you, bro. If the 23 of you was all moving off the same sheet and
Or
you that
20.
was letting people know, right?
Mm.
If you were letting people know this is levels, if you can't do this, if you ain't moving at this speed, then it is what it is, right? Then you can't enjoy it. You can't enjoy the
Oh yeah,
freedom of
facts. I
speed
agree,
skating,
man. Like, but
right?
you see me how I am right now when I get irritated. You really see how I
Right.
am.
But this is what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
We have to all be singing off the same sheet. And again, there's a lot of people who have been saying this stuff over and over again. A lot of newbies. If you go onto Facebook right now and log into jump into any Facebook group, you will see lists and lists and lists of people spreading the same grab. And you know what they're doing? You know what the beginners are doing who feel like they can't come to the rinks? They're not coming. And they're setting up little subgroups of people who are just beginners and they're beginners for forever
Oh,
because they
I see.
can't
Okay, I see now. I
right
see now. I
because
see now. I
because
see
they're being
now.
turned away from the rinks because the rinks are
Yeah.
reckless.
And
But it's up to us. It's up to us. I don't really talk about this a lot, right? Because I don't think I should do that, right?
yeah.
But I go to a lot of beginner sessions. And the only reason I do that is to go there and to skate with them and to make sure that they know levels before they come to the rinks, right? I do that all the time, all the time. There's people in the chat who know that I do that. But I don't put it on social media. I don't make it a big thing. It's not a thing that I talk about much. But the only reason I do it is because I'm trying to set the pace for them, like for when they get better. I'm trying to get them out of this beginner's mindset, right? And we need to be protecting our beginners. We need to be protecting our beginners 100%. And I teach lessons. I do all this stuff in that. But when I talk about stuff like that, when I talk about like with the beginners, when I tell them that skating's dangerous, and when I let them know that it's hard to do, and I let them know that they need to take time, don't rush these processes, they listen to me, right? So
Yeah.
we should be doing that. We have to set these standards. We have to be setting these things up because the problem is if we don't do it, it's just going to get worse, and our skate nights are going to get even worse, and we're going to get more angry, and then there's going to be a big divide. And I think there already is. I think there already is.
There's been a divide for what, the past 4 years? Or even
100%.
longer than that, but it's been
100%.
4 years.
It
Maybe 4 years.
started with the Corona rollers thing.
Yeah.
That's
Now,
when it started.
Now with the whole Corona thing, yeah, for the so-called Corona skaters, yeah, which is kind of funny. Now, I get for those who are new skaters, if you're in this chat right now, yeah, if you're a new skater and you've been skating for a year or 2 years, I can resonate with you lot in a way because I understand what it's like to want to be great at something during a time period where you have all you got is free time. All right, so I understand that can resonate, but at the same time, for anyone in general, right, if there needs to be something implemented, right, then we have to lead by example. You feel me? And leading by example is basically by us just like Amir said and like Emre said, and even like Kate said in the comments, yeah, we have to learn how to talk to some people. But even that though, okay, Amir, let me ask a question, right? So, and Emre as well. What happens to people that don't listen though? Like you talk to them a few times and like cool, like please, so and they don't listen. What would then be the result or the repercussions? Would it be like you got to leave or you got to dip or so and so like?
Well, bro, I
How
think
would
it
you approach
depends on
that?
what you're talking about. You know what I mean? I think it
In
depends on
terms
what
of
it is that you're saying.
okay, like for example, being reckless, etiquette, speed skating, people with ego who
But are
don't
we
listen.
talking at a rink? Are we talking about a rink?
A rink, yeah.
All right. So if we're talking about someone I don't know what that noise is, but someone's got a noise in the background.
That's me. Hold on.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So if we're talking specifically about a rink, the number one thing that we should be saying, especially if we see madness, is go and let the marshals know. Standard. Standard
But
procedures. The marshals will get them off the ring. That's the first thing, right? If
okay,
if you're directing someone and they're like, I don't want to listen to you, I don't want to hear you, then the marshals need to get them off. And generally speaking, they do, right? If we're talking about outside events, if we're talking about car parks, then I think generally speaking, we band together as people and we say, yo, we don't do that here. Yeah, if you want to do that, you can go and find another car park by yourself, right? I think if we work together, and generally speaking, we do, I think if we work together, things can get patterned.
then for that
But we,
I I
you'll need
agree
the
with
unit.
you. So I agree with you a lot. However, that is, like I said before, a very hard task for you to be able to take
Yeah,
on
because
as a
divide the
it is,
community.
bro.
And it's like, I mean, from a theoretical standpoint, it's a very, very valid thing. If you're at a venue, you'd expect the venue to take the responsibility, mostly of whatever happens there, to be able to sort out. Because you're just going there for a venue, you're going there to skate. If something happens, marshal's there, the venue's there, they'll come. If you go into a random car park with a random bunch of people and different places, it's not your place specifically. You have certain places you go to that's more set for, okay, for example,
Yeah.
if you go there consistently, that will be the community driven, like you said. So it would be the people that are there, the community, to be able to say, look, don't skate like that around here, etc., etc. So yeah.
Yeah. But also, but like, this is what I was saying. Right? I was saying this before I left on Saturday. Yeah? I was saying that if so, who was there? It was us. It was like
hmm
Frankie was there. Ree was there. Um,
Everyone's then. It was about 500 people deep, man. 500 people
everyone
deep,
was
bro.
there.
It's like,
Everyone was there. Yeah. If when that person got injured the first time, if we just jumped off the rink, all the beginners would have followed us, and the
yeah,
rink would have been
facts.
clear. They could have dealt with that, and we could have got started again. I think this is something I've been saying a lot, right? Is that everyone wants the clout, everyone wants 100K, everyone wants their number to say K, right? Everyone wants that, but no one's doing nothing with their clout. There's a
Yeah,
lot of us
facts.
getting like talking to different companies and making money on us, but no one ain't doing nothing with their clout. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I'm on 5K and I'm talking about this stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I want to, but it's and again, I don't want it to come across like I'm being arrogant or like I'm trying to tell people how to run
But you
their
know what it
thing.
is though. It's this is when we get to the side of like what politics and the dark side of skating. That it's just because remember I said it's a we all know that the issue with why everyone's divided and why there's an issue right now is because of you can't tell me about my you can't say, but at the same time we can say fuck it, but like Emre said, it's a very very hard task to do when everyone doesn't want to just come together and kind of lead in a way because like even in general skating, man, like there's this thing like I said before, about status quo. Everyone
Mm.
wants that, but no one wants to put the work in to try and change things internally. If you try,
Nobody does.
because look, what I'm doing with Blitz, yeah, it's an internal thing because I left, as you know, I left 2 years ago in it, and I came back with what I came back. That's because I left for a reason because I saw the issues with skating. I saw the
Yeah.
issues with skating, and I went home for those 2 years, and I wrote down every single issue, and I fixed it internally, and I brought it to Blitz. That's why
Mm.
Blitz is still going where it's going. That's why Blitz is doing things, and eventually the goal for
Boom.
Blitz is to create a whole new foundation. Eventually, but at the same time, right now, it's not even about a team. It's not even about an individual person. It's about when we go to these rinks or we go to anywhere in general that deals with skating, right? There has to be a code of conduct. If that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying 10 commandments type of shit. I'm just saying there has to be a something in place that we all know internally and
Yeah.
spiritually and mentally that this can run, this cannot run. The same way if I was to skate with you Amzor or you Emre, right? Automatically we just know how to function during a skate. Like yesterday, it is. I mean, Emre was doing stops, right? There was no ego, there was no pride. It was like, oh, yo, that's sick as well, cool.
Everyone's just showing their shit.
Exactly, showing us shit, but mentally we connect mentally on the spiritual level, knowing that this is what we're doing. Amir,
Mm.
every time I'm skating, bro, what do you do behind me? You come behind me out of nowhere to try and scare me, but I know it's you because I can mentally
Yeah.
connect with you. So
Right.
we all know the system and how it works, but we can't really vocalize it because it's a mental, spiritual thing. But if there's a way for us to do it, then we should come together and do that. Teach how to
Mm.
walk off the rink when there's a speed skate. Signal your hand like you're a car or like you're a bicycle. All right.
Yeah.
If you're about to go on the speed skate, check your wheels, check your plates, make sure everything's sorted out. If you're doing an advanced speed skate or in a section where there's jamming, learn how to navigate through this and learn when and when not to skate. If someone is injured, why is everybody skating? I'm talking about the
Yeah,
other day.
I agree.
Why?
I
Like,
agree.
my boy bust his head, almost lost his life the other day, and everyone was still skating. I didn't even know until little Courtney came up to me 4 minutes later on, all right, and said, "Uriah, look, your boy is on the floor, blacked out, having fits." Why wasn't it mentioned on the mic? Why did the music not stop? Why is everyone still skating?
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
reason is
I
because
agree.
it's about a money thing. Because these men don't want to give back a refund. They made at
Yeah,
least
but bro,
5 to 7K.
they're a business, bro.
Yeah, I
But they're
get
a
that.
business.
I get that. But at the same
I
time, they're making at
Go
least
on, go.
5 to 7K.
Hold on, you're right. Hold on 1 second. Go on.
because I didn't see what happened to Makona. I heard that he bust his head during the speed skate. That's what I heard. And if that
No,
happened, then in my opinion, that's probably the only place that a serious, not even a serious, but an incident should take place in a speed skate. That's the only time something
should
reckless
really happen.
is
Yeah.
going on. But I feel like the reason that people aren't slowing down and aren't, taking things seriously is because, first of all, we're all black people and we paid our money. So knowing what's happened last time and that we've had to stop for 2 hours, in
Yeah.
everyone's head, everyone's thinking, "Rah, this has happened. I'm gonna lose 2 hours of skating for what?" And I get it. It's disrespectful. At the end of the day, it is, because if it was someone we was close to, everyone would be as pissed as you're right. It's like, you get it. But I feel like it's a thing of, we can't stop what's going on unless states say we're at full capacity. Because at last
Yeah.
event, when I pulled up, I was on the phone to some people that was inside. They were saying, "Oh, it's pack up." So I'm thinking, "Wow, I might not get in." Still got in, but it was jammed. So it
Yeah.
shouldn't be a situation of I'm getting there when it started and the team's already full, because you already know how the night's gonna go, and especially because you've got skaters like us Corona rollers that skate at books or that skate recklessly around people that only jam or don't know how we skate. When incidents occur, it's a thing of who is actually to blame, because there's like an endless amount of things that could really
Yeah.
go.
And look,
Yeah.
I agree. And like I said, like Ray said a minute ago, not you, Ray, the other Ray. He said speed skates are so on serious, especially when mandem jump into female speed skates. Now, even that, bro, that shouldn't even be a thing. Why is mandem
Look,
jumping into a female speed skate? Obviously, I'm not trying to
I,
run. I'm just going by just
yeah.
common
Yeah.
No,
sense.
that part as well. Sorry, as like the only woman in this chat, as a woman, I feel like we've already done so much complaining to say we need a ladies only speed skate.
Mhm.
So when we've jumped in, I get the man in my scene, right? They've got like more space in the speed skate. We have the space to do what we want. But that's simply because there's not as many of us. You get it?
I
There
agree.
has
Can
been
can
certain
I
man, we're not gonna name
so
no names.
so
I'm
I take
already getting vexed thinking, what are you doing? Why are you here? You've got your time, you've got your space,
Yeah.
but you just want to take do what? Like, I actually want to know, do what in the
I
women's
agree.
speed
It's
skate?
not fair. It's not fair.
so to interject here, yeah, as it
Go on,
doesn't
bro.
really have anything to do with anything. But from the last time I was skating a while ago, and I said this quite a few times, in terms of lady skating, I will say throughout my whole skating, whatever you want to call it, the most recent period, like, hands down, the ladies have held the community down for a bit.
Fact. Fact.
I'll tell
Fact.
you, like, for a good, like, the Corona period, when it kind of started to die down and a couple of people coming in and out, there was a lot of girls that just came in and absolutely just went from zero to hero, and they held it. So of
Fact.
course,
Fact.
who would not be pissed
Fact.
off when you want a ladies only skate, and then you got, I mean, it's stupid for when I was seeing it as well. I'm thinking, all right, it's a bit dumb. Why is people just, it's a ladies only skate for a
But it
reason.
makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, and then I mean, someone told me that they were doing a event with skate with sis. I
On
Yeah.
fixate.
Shout out skate with this.
yeah,
Everyone shout out skate with this.
yeah. That, I think that's hard. Like, ladies only. So why? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
So
dumb for you to jump
Don't
but
in
no
bring no
no. But
boys
can
out
I just
here.
say? All right. But can I just say something? Right. I don't know if you lot can see the comment that I pinned. Yeah. But the
Yeah.
comment says influencers are the key to change in the scene and by making awareness of the issue. And I think a lot of us, like I was saying before, right? A lot of us love to see our platforms growing. A lot of us want to see companies working with us. They want to be sent skates. A lot of us want that. A lot of us want to see that. But none of us are doing as much work as we should be doing. Like and like we're all having a start. But again, like people also have to remember is that this is new. You know what I mean? Like when I started, there was no social media. I started in like 2008. When I started, there was no social media. Like where especially and even like this whole like skating Instagram, skating Facebook, skating YouTube, all that stuff. This is all brand new to us. You know what I mean? We're still all trying to figure out how it goes. We're still all trying to figure out
Yeah.
how this thing works and trying to figure out how important what we have to say is to the people who are just skating for fun, you know? But for me, and I don't know if this is the same for you lot, but skating is my livelihood. Skating is what I make my money on. You know what I mean? This is my thing.
In terms of that
But
topic, here's
yeah.
the split between, from my personal opinion. So when I used to skate, I don't tend to do too much social stuff when it used to come to skating back in the day, especially. I mean, I would go there. I mean, at Harrow, my phone was turned off, but you skate to skate, you know. And then there was the period in which there's a lot of social media. Well, I used to call them social media skaters, SMS, and it used to be, I always used to have some type of way against people that used to skate like that, because you're not skating for the passion of skating, you're doing it for social media. But then at the same time, it's like a fine line in between, because if people want to get the promotion and they want to do what they want to do, they get the awareness, they get the followers, and they create something out of it. So shout out to them. But then it's that fine line of, again, whether someone's just doing it for the clout or they're actually doing it because they really like skating and they want to spread the love and show. So it's another fine line to be able to see what's what, who's doing what for what.
But this is the thing, right? Like, I don't think the solution is for us to look at social media and call people names or be like clout and ego and all that. I don't think there needs to be that. I think the thing that we need to do is embrace what we have, embrace what we're building, right? And look at that as an opportunity for us to put the newest skaters on, right? Like, for example, right? The thing, my favorite skaters in the scene are skate resists, right? But I love what they do. I love how they talk about the scene. But more than anything, they found the problem, right? The problem is that they wanted female only spaces that they couldn't have. So what did they do? They found a space and had female only events. I fuck with that. That's what we need to do, right? We need to take these problems and figure out solutions, right? Watch my wheels. I big watch my wheels up any time I can, right? They had a safe space for people to come to over the COVID season in the car park, and now they're doing lessons for the newer generation, right? I see Dev is really leading the charge with, like, you know, he's doing things with flippers. Kai is like a godsend to the community. There's a lot. The NC, like, if there was no NC, there'd be no skate things, there'd be no wash our wheels, there'd be no skate resist. All of that would have been gone. And Blitz, I don't know. Like, you're right. I don't really see much of your stuff. I don't really know what it is that you're doing. But hold on. But no. But what I'm saying is, I know you've got stuff coming. Is what I'm saying. Like, we're all trying to figure out a way to boom, like to make our community better, but we need to do better, and we need to figure out a way to bridge the gap between us and the newer skaters and close that space, because there's a lot of space in the middle, and it's go on.
I feel like it's such a little thing, yeah. And I don't think like people think it's that deep, but even little things like saying, "Oh yeah, we're old Stratford skaters," we get it. You're already on a pedestal, so us new skaters, we respect that. But then when we do things like our Corona rollers, we know it's a joke. But then it's like, I feel like certain people feel like they've got to do twice as much to get the respect that they feel like they deserve.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So let me.
Skaters that the Mateki batch are so wavy, but I feel like certain things that they do, if an OG skater was to do it, no one would have a problem. But simply because they're new, people are like, no, you shouldn't be doing that. You can't be doing this. You need to be in the game for this many years before you do certain stuff. And I feel like when that comes into play, it's just kind of like, why am I being told I can't do this if I know what level I'm at?
Okay,
All
so
right, but can I say?
Oh,
Go on.
No,
You're right.
you go first. It's cool,
Okay. All right. Let me just say, right. There's a reason, a very specific reason as to why you feel that way, or as to why that's a thing in the community, right? And I think the first thing is that we know there is no OGs. Like, we don't have any like older skaters. You know what I mean? Like, there's that lot of Hyde Park, but they never really supported us, right? So a lot of us had to forge our own way from the beginning, right? And I think a lot of us are very territorial over that status of being like an OG or being a legend or having that kind of legendary status. And I think when the COVID rollers came up, and like everyone was blowing up on TikTok, blowing up on Insta, it became a derogatory term to call someone a Corona roller.
Yeah.
And like you said, like we're not giving each other props, we're not holding each other up and growing together. We're just kind of sporadically doing what we're doing and just everyone's just trying to eat. Like it's some famine mentality. Like it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. I've seen more skaters on posters and in adverts than I've seen other people I've seen too many. There's so much opportunity to eat. There's so much opportunity for everyone to be great in this thing that we call skating. And we need to cut that. We need to cut that dragging people down and doing all that madness to each other. We need to be working together and trying to level each other up. But I think it starts with using our influence in a proper way, like looking at how much influence we really have. Because I mean, like I said, like I only realized recently how much influence I actually have over the newer skaters who follow me. I only recently realized how much influence I have. And the things that I say, people like really listen to, like almost scarily listen to. And that's why I try to push good narratives. Like I was doing those like short minute videos or whatever, like to try and push the good narrative and try and make people see what I'm saying rather than just posting like glory videos of me skating, because I don't skate like that all the time. I fall a lot.
Mm.
Yeah, I hear that.
You know what I mean? Go on, bro.
It's cool. Ray, when you said about the OGs and this and that and people labeling, the one thing I want to say to everyone right now in this chat, yeah, anyone who's reading this, you can quote me this for word. I don't care. Like I'm at the point now where I just don't care enough anymore. But what I'm gonna say is this: a title doesn't mean nothing. All right, just like Roman Jewett said, a name means nothing. Nor does a hand or a foot. It's just a label. If you were a new skater and you've achieved a lot in that year or this month or whatever, then earn that. Like basically own it. Like don't let no one come to you and tell you, don't let no one come to you and belittle you or make you feel like you're any lesser of a skater, because you just get more time on your hands than we usually did because of work and COVID wasn't about. In other words, you lot are actually blessed to actually have that much free time to skate and learn, and
100%.
that's a lot of things a lot of people who've been skating for years actually envy. You see where I'm coming from? Now, there is an issue why people say don't do certain things to your new skate, because it's like you lot are still babies to that community, and obviously they might be harsh on you, but it's only tough love. But sometimes some people actually really are just dicks. So it all depends on who you come across. Now, in terms of what you said to me, Amir, about me and Blitz, right? Blitz only started 3 years ago when I was to work at Fixate. I left Fixate and I left the skate community because I saw so many errors and I didn't feel like I belonged there anymore, because the way what I was going through and how I was kind of being treated in a way. So I left and I brought a team of skaters who felt the same way as me, and we formed our own society for ourselves, just to be a family and to skate with each other without any politics, any drama. All right. Emre knows of this because I remember I said Emre time ago, Emre joined the comedy part because Emre was going through the same stuff. So same with other skaters. And over time, because Blitz grew as a family, what I have planned for Blitz, I've been planning for 2 years. Every single day, I've been planning new things, and it will come out this year. And like I said, Blitz has a blueprint that could fix a lot of things, but the issue with the skate community in general is the ego, the politics, and the drama that needs to be solved before I will even consider cool guys, look, let me help you out type of stuff. And it's not me being a dick or me. It's that I'm protecting what I've built for my friends and my family. You get me? And I would love to share and teach new people new things, but people have different views on how things should be run and certain things. I come from a business point of view because I run my own businesses. You feel me? So I treat it from that perspective and from a passionate, creative point of view. That's what I'm trying to say. That's why I agree with Amir and agree with Emre that there is a big division and there are factions. Just that my faction is not even, to me, a community is an environment. Same way there's a Derby community or Manchester or there's a London community, but I'm just outside of that because I just don't want to mingle with the politics. I'm only here right now in these conversations because of Makona. If you saw me on that weekend when he was injured, everyone saw how worried I was, because it's not just a team to me. Like yes, it's a brand, but it's a family. It's a built-in thing. Like our logo is a wolf to symbolize we're a pack of wolves. We're very guarded. We're very loyal. That's why we barely speak. That's why we barely post things, because we're not about the stats. We're not about the clout. We're not about the hype. We just want to skate and build together. And then one day we want to share it with everybody, and everyone could actually eat from that. Do you see where I'm coming from? But right now, I said to me, Emir and Emery, I said to you for the past 2 years, the skate community is going to burn because it's falling apart. And right now is what I've been trying to say. It's going to fall apart, and it's actually happening right now. And we're trying to hold it
No, I
together.
disagree, bro. I
You think?
disagree, man. I think we're doing well, man.
No,
I think
I'm not knocking that. I know we're doing well, but I'm saying that the issues that are happening, it makes it look like it's falling apart. Even though we're trying to hold it together, there needs to be a. I think I had it before where there was like leaders that were like these big, like not factions, but there was like a round table, for example, and everyone kind of came together. Okay, have you seen Biker Boys, the movie Biker Boys?
Yeah.
Okay, you see how they had different teams and leaders, right? And they all voted on the same thing. Something like that needs to be put into place. That's what I'm trying to say, because there has to be a code of conduct.
I hear what you're saying, bro, and I think that would be great, right? It'd be great if we could
But
have like
realistically,
a team. But what I'm saying is that let's just start small first, right?
Yeah.
Let's just start with us, like respecting each other and trying to just at the very least like manage our community, right? If we're all like trying to look at the skate community as a way to influence in a positive way, as opposed to like dragging each other down and turn like, you know, putting terms out like corona rollers, and which again, like these are words that are being thrown out by like teachers in the community, pillars in the community, and then they expect people to like follow them and like listen to what they have to say. Like, listen,
Like
I hear what you're saying, bro.
So
It's mad. It's mad.
Everyone in the comments, obviously, I'm not saying the community's burn. I'm saying that if things keep messing up, let's say it's gonna be hard to hold together because the families do fight and families do break apart, and and I said before, there has been the division for the past 4 years. Now I'm saying, so why is there a divide? How can we fix it? How can we merge the land back together? That's what I'm trying to say. But
I think the way to do it is by us, right? The people who have platforms and the people who skaters look up to, because we know who that is. It's not a secret. We all know that like anyone like myself, I know I have a considerable. I mean, I know I you know, of everyone I have a smaller platform. But I know that people really listen to who to the things that I say, you know. And I couldn't imagine how much influence someone like Rihanna might have, or I can't imagine how much influence someone like Rue might have, or A Skates might have, you know, like they have a lot of influence. Like Skate was this, we've seen that they have a lot of influence, right? So I think we need to be looking at that and trying to honestly, like be honest with ourselves and be honest with the community, and try and bring ourselves together, and try and put ourselves in a place like again, like we all come from. I mean, most of us come from Fixate, right? But prior to that, a lot of us come from Emery. Where's that place that we used to go? Stratford, right? A lot of us come from Stratford.
Where we used to go.
But the thing about Stratford is Stratford was a free for all. You know what I mean? But we learned how to be social. We learned how to work together. We learned how to move and bob and weave without licking each other down. We kind of learned that.
I'll tell you something.
Stuff like that is mad important as well.
From the time it used to be a while ago, and people used to skate in Stratford. I think the craziest part about it is for the whole time there, I don't think I've seen as many broken legs or as much as what's happened in Harrow over the past month, which is kind of crazy.
There was none. But this is the thing. We were all good. We were all like really good skaters.
I think the difference from back then in comparison to now, so the positive side to social media is that you can have all the influence and put the message out there to be able to reach people as easily. At the same time, I feel as though people have gone soft. If you say one word to them about how you're skating a certain way, they'll just kind of stop. Like, for example, back in the day, if you said something, like there was enough times when people would say certain things about the way that I skate when I first started. You're skating way too scary. You don't know what you're doing, there. And then if that was there, or if someone was like kind of looking at me a certain way in the way that I was skating, I was like, oh, okay. Why are they looking at a certain way? did I do something wrong? I'll practice on it. I'll make sure that I'm better at it. Keep going, keep going, keep going. You know, you can't. I think that's the difference between a tough love and then having that kind of one
So
person says
would you say there's like, so on this question, right? Would you say that there is a pressure to skating in a way, like when someone skates, there has to be a pressure to look good or get the validation they need?
Well, there's two different types of pressures from.
I think there's pressure in everything, especially things that are creative and outlets, right? Like, I think there's always going to be pressure, but I think the point is that like we have a lot of what I'm trying to say is that we have a lot of power, right? Like, especially as influencers,
Yeah.
we have a lot of power, and we should be using this power just like when we go to Harrow, when we go to Fixate, like it's important to help the newbies. It's important to big them up and to let them know. It's important to go down to the newbie events and or the newer skaters events and chat to them and interact with them and be on their level and let them know that I was there before, you know. I think it's important for us to do all this stuff. There's a question. I don't know. Can you not see this question below?
Oh, so real quick, so that question there, I saw it just now. We weren't talking about like a divide and like a war. We're talking about just like Chrissy said, there's individualism. There are different like groups, and it's very hard to like, you know, obviously there's politics in the skating, and I'm not gonna get too deep into politics because I'm not even trying to get to that conversation. But we're talking about individualism. We're talking about there could be a group or whatever who can have a certain issue with someone else or certain dates. It's just basically just normal skate stuff that's happened throughout the years. So for those who are new to it, I don't want to get into it because obviously it's not a discussion right now to be needed. We're talking about, you know, moving forward basically. You see where I'm coming from?
There's lots of small things, like just like anything with like that's a pretty niche. Well, skating's not really niche anymore. It's very mainstream. But for anything that's quite niche, there's always going to be fallouts. There's always going to be problems.
Yeah, that's how it is.
But you know, it's just part of the game. It's just part of the game. But yeah, listen, I think I've been on this live for 2 hours.
That's 2 hours.
I absolutely, I don't know how long. It's 11 o'clock. I started at 8:30, right? I don't know how long I've been on this. I love you lot. You lot are dope. I really appreciate you lot jumping on.
It's been an interesting conversation now.
It's been a very interesting conversation.
I'm not that social type of guy, so I appreciate this.
Yes. So for the 70 odd people here and for the people who are on the live with me, I appreciate you all. I'm gonna be doing this again tomorrow, right? Tomorrow I want to talk about improvements, right? So we've done this. Everyone's got their 2-piece out. Everyone's said what they have to say. We've spoken about Harrow in depth. I think we've got some great advice, and there's been some really interesting conversations. So tomorrow I want to talk about improvements. I want to talk about how we can move forward as a team of skaters. And yeah, because there's no fixed date tomorrow, so nobody has any excuses because we'd all
tomorrow
be
Tuesday,
except for I
thought it was
tomorrow
Monday,
Tuesday.
I thought it was Monday. Bro, no, I work 17 hours a day in it, bro. Just leave me alone. I don't keep track of dates. Yo.
Yeah, see, hold on. Chrissy just said, the ladies skate Fixate is on the 8th of March. Okay, ladies, it is International Women's Day.
Yeah.
International Women's Day. And Fixate are doing a ladies only skate. It's on the 8th of March. Go to their Instagram at @fixate_RD. Go check out their event that they're doing there. We're going to be doing that. I'm going to plug it again tomorrow. But if you lot are about tomorrow, it'd be wicked if you lot could come in. And we're going to be talking solutions to small problems, that not big problems like how do we fix the whatever. But yeah. I was going to say something and it just popped out my head. I'm not very good at this.
All I can say is good luck to you, man, and everyone in the community that's trying to pull it together, because it's not no easy task. And much as you go round and round, it's never going to be one specific thing or one event. It's going to be a whole load of things. And to tackle them one by one is the best way to do it. So shout out to you and everyone else.
Yes, definitely.
Man.
So like I said, there's no fixed date tomorrow, so you don't have anything else to do. So please come through tomorrow. We're going to be talking solutions, going to be trying to put a positive spin on this very heavy thing. I've been waiting since 8 o'clock to have my dinner. So I'm gonna go have a little bit of dinner right now. I love you all. Have a great evening, and I will see you all tomorrow.
Peace out, guys.
Good chat,
Enjoy.
man. See you later.